Bada bing, bada boom. What's up? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the generic paranormal show with your host, myself, KD, and my co host, Austin. Would you like to say hello, Austin?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. So, tonight, we're going to talk about something that's on the minds of most people. It's actually being incorporated into it. Well, we're going to talk about a few things, actually. We're going to talk about haunted objects, all right, but I want to talk about AI. Because AI is uh, soon to be incorporated into every single bit of technology that we have. Okay, so like I think of AI as kind of like it's like a smarter algorithm, right? It just learns things and goes with trends depending on its necessity. So
I have like trends and probabilities.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because it learns from
Mhm.
like every time you speak to it, you're basically teaching it from it's
Yep.
learning from its interactions with you.
Right.
What's up, Tim Lovejoy? So this is going to present a lot of problems, and
Yeah.
one of a big problem I could think of right off the top of my head is going to be Samsung, their new Galaxy phones are all going to be they're going to have like an AI AI incorporated into the a lot of the apps on it and the software, right?
I think you can turn it off though.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
Can
gonna be
you?
like that
Can you though?
that
Can you?
big Bisbee or big or whatever the fucking back in the day where you had the side key. I can't remember what it was called. The
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
Bixby.
about. Yeah,
Bixby.
Bixby.
That's
I
what it
never
is.
used Bixby. I never used that.
No, I think that's
But
just it's like gonna be
I
like
don't
that where you
think
can like
so. I
fucking
don't
turn it
think
off.
it's gonna be where you can turn it off. I think it's gonna be just there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be there. It's gonna be learning your habits as far as
Good.
like what apps you use. Like it's gonna
Hmm.
know like how often you use your apps. It's gonna be
Hmm.
and all that. They already use all that with advertising.
Hmm.
Basically, the algorithms just learn your
Oh,
habits. They know
hmm.
when you poop. Okay, like
Yeah, they do.
I'm serious. Like Amazon knows when you go to take a shit.
I'm
You
sure
know,
they do.
Google does too. And
Hmm.
they share all this information with each other, which is kind of a weird thing to think about, sharing people's poop schedules. But they know because pooping is big business for the social media industry. Right?
Well,
I
that's
mean,
yeah. I mean, what are people
it is.
doing when they're
What are
taking
you
a
doing?
shit?
Exactly. When you're sitting on the toilet, what are you doing? You're freaking
Scrolling through your Facebook
on your
feed
app,
or whatever.
checking
Yeah,
the gram. How many
yeah.
people at work will go to the bathroom simply just to get on their phone because you're not allowed to use your phones at work or whatever at a lot of places. So,
I
like,
used to get in trouble for doing that shit, man.
but how do
Like,
they know? How would they know,
if I
right?
took, well, because
You
what
know
I
what I
used
would
to do,
think?
I
Go
used to
ahead.
get in trouble by like going to the bathroom and I would be in there, like, I would take like multiple 10-minute, 10-15 minute bathroom breaks throughout the day. So like I might have went excessive with it, but
Yeah, but they're gonna get you for taking excessive bathroom breaks, right? They can't say what you're doing in there for sure.
all
They
right,
say
but then
they can say we think that you are when you claim to be pooping. We don't actually believe that you're pooping. We believe that humans don't poop that much, so you must be on your phone.
Colleen just Colleen just yelled from the other room. Can we not talk about that?
What, pooping?
I guess. Yeah.
or being on your phone while you're pooping.
Uh,
regardless,
probably. Perfect.
regardless, the point stands that like they already kind of know our routines, right? They know when we go to bed. They know like how much of our attention they have on certain videos. They can track your eye
Hmm.
movement and everything. They know
Yeah,
when you're paying attention, when you're not. People are wearing these Fitbits and these smartwatches and stuff, and so now they're not only do they know you're like what you're paying attention to, they also know
your
uh
vitals.
your freaking
What you're
vitals.
doing. What you're doing at any given moment,
Right.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically can tell if you're exerting yourself or if you're sleeping or whatever,
Yep.
I mean,
Hmm.
where you're at, and I don't know, man. I do like technology. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a Generation X person, so I was there for the crossover, man.
Me too.
From the analog to the digital, right? Yeah, but you're a little bit like just a little bit later, not that much.
I was in the '90s. I was born in
90, yeah,
'91,
but in the
bro.
90s, bro, in 91, I had a freaking Game Boy.
Dude, dude, I didn't
I had a
even.
Game Boy in 91. You know what they had in 80?
There was still dial up. I still had dial up internet
Oh,
when I was a kid.
dial-up internet. Oh my god. Dude, I had dial-up internet when I was in my freaking 20s.
Well, so you were born before I was, but I
I know that's
still was
what I'm
part of
saying,
that.
but that's what
But
I'm
I was
saying.
still part of that
You
transition. So I was still.
well,
I
yeah,
remember times
well,
without the internet. Without.
you're part of the infancy, right? You're more part of the infancy. Now you did have
Yeah.
tapes. You had cassette tapes. I'm sure you had some cassette tapes. Probably not
When I
many.
was like probably like when I was 10.
When you were really little, yeah, when you're like
Yeah.
10 probably. I know I got my
Yeah.
first CD player when I wanna say I was 13. No, I was like 12. My mom bought me a
Right.
CD player boombox. And so
Right.
like, uh,
But
but I
but
was right. The Generation X was the generation that was born without the digital, well, born with the baby steps of digital, like the primordial digital ooze, I guess. 8-bit or 4-bit games. Basically, it was barely digital, dude. It was like analog controlling digital, is what it
yeah.
was. It was like faking digital. But now, like everything's digital. Um, Photography. Okay, now this is one way that is this AI thing and how it's gonna, pardon my French, fuck everything up is we already don't believe most of what we see. Well, some of us do. Some of us believe anything we see. Well, we see something and somebody describes a narrative to us, and then we think that that's what it is, right? Take for example dust orbs, right? Dust, right?
Mm,
So like,
big time.
that's something that you really, I mean, I'm sure there was orb photos, right? Or Zach Baggins likes to call them light anomalies. That's just a fancy way of saying an orb. But speaking of which, sidetrack real quick. I think we were talking about this the other day. Zach Baggins like started the whole light anomaly trend because the way he implies that because they're investigating, they're using night vision, right? That they are in the dark. So how can these light anomalies happen when you're in the dark?
Well,
How are you
no, he
capturing that light? Now that's kind of how he puts it, right? That's why it's so like yeah, because if you were to see a glare any other time with the lights on, it wouldn't be a big deal, right? So he
well
implies it
that's not
without he's implying it without implying it is what he's doing.
well what he
The idea.
says
Okay, go ahead.
is that like they can tell the difference between dust and a light anomaly, and they try to use that as some kind of like judgment, like when you because they know that night vision, they
He
talk
says
about
that.
that
He says
frequently,
that,
that
but he
night
also
vision.
doesn't know the difference between a airport tower light off in the distance through a window and a demon's eyes. But I'm just saying. So like the implication is that we're in the dark. So these light anomalies. I'm not talking about the dust particles. I'm talking about like, well, I guess it
Yeah.
could be dust, right? But like when it looks like something flies out of somebody's head or flies into their
Mhm.
head or whatever. And
Yeah,
I
they
guess
did that or made it. They brought that kind of like forward to the forefront for
yeah,
sure.
they definitely made that. They implied that that's that's abnormal, right? Because it's dark. So how can there be light anomalies in the dark?
Yeah,
Because it's
emitting
well,
its own
here's the
light and do it.
problem. It's not really dark. It's dark to us because we can't see infrared light. But when you have a giant infrared flash on your camera, it's not actually dark in the room. It's dark. It's dark in the sense that you can't see uh, any IR light reflecting. That's the only way it's dark. But the camera that is set up or designed to see IR is gonna you're gonna get all those glares, the the reflection of the IR flash flashing
Mhm.
off the things. It's gonna light up a dust particle or a bug or a gnat or whatever. It's gonna make some
Yep.
weird stuff happen. That's partially why I'm
Mhm.
kind of against. I mean, I guess we all still do use night vision cameras. Just it's kind of the thing to do, right? What would we do without that creepy green tint? And that's just a filter that they put over because it's just black and white normally, like a normal IR, or it's actually
That'd be like a
purple and white,
purplish, pinkish
purple
hue.
and
Yeah.
white. Yeah, yeah. But anyways, but the green I think is supposedly stands out to our eyes more, so I think we're able to make out more detail in green. I'm not sure
Like,
about that. That's
like, what if you're red green colorblind? Then
you
that
see
would work.
you see what my name is, KD, reckless speculator, because that's what I do. Speculate recklessly.
I'm, I'm, I'm a theoretical theorist, so I need
Yes,
to put
you
that in
are a
my title.
theoretical theorist. We got to put that in there.
You're the reckless speculator, and I'm a theoretical theorist. I like
Reckless
that.
speculation of theoretical theorists. So, hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about apparently Zach Baggins now. No, we're not for real. So anyway, so that being said, with all the the light anomalies and the camera like tricks of light on the camera, right? And
Hmm.
especially in the dark, man. In the dark, like your camera is struggling to like see anything, right?
Man,
So
any windows, pieces of glass, reflective material, like
it's gonna
anything
look
that
like
could have
something.
a shiny surface will
Yes,
reflect that IR light, and you'll see it in the camera
just
no
like
matter
just
what
like a
angle.
just like a light bulb, just like a regular light bulb.
Mhm.
It's there, right? Like
Yep.
for example, our NVGs in the military when I was in the military,
Yep.
uh, the actual military grade NVGs, they use
Mhm.
starlight technology, right? So you don't need an IR light. Like we use them on our vehicles, so you can see vehicles from a long distance coming,
Right.
but you don't need a flash. You don't need. We have them on our. Well, I used to have one mounted on the side of my Kevlar, but you don't need it because
Right.
actually, if you look at a source of light that's too bright with your NVGs on, it'll actually burn out your your uh, your camera.
Mm.
It'll burn the NVGs out. It'll white
Oh,
them out.
sure.
Sure will. Yep. So like that's why they have caps on them and all that stuff. And anyways,
Right.
so that being said, the reason why I brought up cameras and kind of like the way a lot of people will, I believe, misinterpret what they're seeing in their pictures a lot of times, like especially with like orb pictures, right? I'm not saying all orb pictures are bullshit. I'm just saying
I am.
think about it. Okay,
Don't fucking show me an orb picture.
No, I have orb pictures that are interesting, and the reason why they're
I don't give
interesting
a
is
shit. I
not
don't
because
believe him.
well, you can say that, but that's like saying I don't believe in Bigfoot. You know, I could say that, but there's evidence that suggests that he
That's not
could be there.
necessarily the same.
It's kind of the same because I have photos of
I don't
light
believe
anomalies that
if you
are.
show me a picture of an orb,
It's
it's
not.
bullcrap. Why are you
I'm,
showing me a fucking picture of dust or a
okay, but what
bug or
you're
whatever
thinking
the
of
fuck
is
that
like
is?
a traditional like light reflection off of a dust particle or a bug, right? So it looks
Mhm.
like a ball of light. But now, okay, what about this? What if that ball? What if you take a picture? You get something similar to that, right? That's similar looking to that ball of light, but it's a it's like half behind something. So it actually is not superimposed like over the like usually dust orb pictures will be like forefront in the photo, right? Like it's going to be there. There's nothing like covering part of it. It's not like it's going to be hiding behind something and you
Like
just
if you were to take a picture of like a door frame, like a doorway, an open doorway, and you see a big orb that's like covered, like you could clearly see the size of a basketball in the
right
doorway, just peeking around through the
peeking
frame, and
around,
then half
right?
of it
So
is covered.
right, so
Then I'm gonna be impressed. But
right,
like,
right. Now I have got pictures like that. It wasn't a doorway, but it was a table,
I
and
mean, still, that's
yeah,
but like if there's an inanimate object that is blocking
blocking it.
the
Yeah,
view of the orb, then that's different. But
right.
99 point not like those pictures, I never see those.
I'm gonna say the
You don't ever
majority.
see those.
I could show you one. I have one. Katie
But what I'm
actually sent
saying
me a
though is
batch
that
of. They don't
like when
emphasize
I
those.
see people send
Yeah.
me fucking pictures of orbs, none of them are ever like that.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like right off the bat, unless it's something like that,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't even want to see it. Like,
Yeah.
don't waste my time.
I take interest in like colored uh orb like objects in pictures. If it has a different color to it, I will take interest in it. That could be explained, obviously, but you know what it basically boils down to is you can explain away everything if you want to. Anything can be explained away pretty readily. So I could basically shoot down every any kind of evidence you put out in front of me and say, well, but it's possible that this other thing happened. And then by using Occam's razor, we have to assume that the most likely answer is the answer, right? So we
Well,
could
and I
do that.
mean,
We could do
the
that.
hard
But
part, unless somebody comes with like hard fucking data over a long period of time and multiple camera angles, multiple perspectives of a specific event happening, and
yeah, right.
like
Not just
in a
multiple.
controlled environment, like it's so difficult. It's so fucking difficult.
Well, it's actually when you think about it though, all these different all these historic places um that they do events at, and they do like you have a whole bunch of places that you hold events at. Like if you had a hallway, let's say you had a hallway where every time, every let's not say every single time. Okay, let's say every single event that you had, someone took a picture down that hallway and they would catch a light anomaly. Maybe not every person would catch the light anomaly, but somebody would catch one and then that's a common occurrence, right? It wouldn't prove anything scientifically, but for people who
Or
did
that the place was dusty. It would prove quite a bit. It would
I'm not talking about just a standard obvious dust particle orb though. You know what I'm
like
saying?
something peeking out of
Like
a room in
something
a
with a
hallway
shape
that
to it.
comes.
Something with some kind of form to it or something. Most dust particle orbs are roundish and they don't really have a form. There's not any kind of uh, structure or shape to them. You might be able to zoom in and then look at the pixels individually, which is where we're going, right? So modern like digital cameras are kind of like it's kind of the equivalent of using like a modern digital audio recorder, right? Voice recorder. Uh, they have like encoders and stuff in them, like it's basically like software
Oh,
that will
block that
edit
out.
out what it thinks it shouldn't be seeing or hearing.
Right.
So now that's been a thing, right? Like
Mhm.
that's been around. So that's something that you've all people have or that should have always been being cognizant of. But
Right.
now with AI being introduced, what do we all take? We're all taking pictures during investigations with what our cell phones. I mean, I use my cell phone a lot when I stop. I mean, I have like night vision. I have like the Sony Handycams and like GoPros, like not IR GoPros, all this stuff, right? But I just prefer to use my phone. It's easy. I can get it out and film for a long time. I got to change batteries. I got to change memory cards. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But that is slowly becoming, actually quickly becoming a not very efficient way to document paranormal work, right? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but orb photos didn't really, looking back at ghost photography, right? There's
Mhm.
a lot of good, interesting. The Lady of Brown, I think it's the Lady of Brown Hall. Is that
Yeah. The
yeah,
Bachelor's
down
Grove
the stairs?
Maiden.
The woman sitting on the bench at Bachelor's Grove. There's a
Is
lot
that
of there's a lot of really good ghost photos out there, right?
with
And
the negatives? That's
right,
important.
with
That is
negatives. And
important.
see that, and that's something that you're not gonna have anymore. You don't have
Right.
negatives. There is no negatives. All there is what the computer in your phone or in your camera thinks that digital sensor is seeing.
Although there are a lot of, I will defend a lot of teams that do go with strictly like the Polaroid cameras
That's what I'm saying. That's the
or
way to
even
go.
the
That's the legit
or
way to do
even
it.
the old film cameras that you have to go and develop the
Yes.
pictures. Like,
Yes. Well, and here's why that's
mhm,
more, in my opinion, and this is an opinion. This isn't fact because we obviously don't know the mechanics of how the supernatural world works, right? If we did,
right,
then we wouldn't be on here like talking about this crap. We'd be out like I don't know, doing something else. But
right,
so like I feel like since the invention of digital photography, there's been a super sharp increase in ghost photos, right? Or not
yeah, of
necessarily
course.
ghost photos, or paranormal photos, right? Orbs, pictures of orbs. It started out really bad because with fewer megapixels, things are like really crappy looking, right? Try to zoom in on it, and it looks like something that it's not, completely not.
Lucky, lucky,
Eh, right. Or it could be misinterpreted as looking like something else because of its, just
low
shitty
resolution.
resolution. So, but here's the thing about AI. Now, there is the new Galaxies are gonna, and I'm sure the iPhones will have it too. There's gonna be AI incorporated into the camera on
Mhm,
your phone. So you will actually be able to, like, let's say you take a picture of, let's say I had to hand my phone to my wife, say, hey, take a picture of me standing in front of this dinosaur statue on road trip or whatever, right?
mhm,
So she takes a picture. She doesn't take it exactly centered though. So I'm like, crap, I wanted a nice centered picture of me standing in front of a dinosaur statue. So what
mhm,
do? I just shift it, and the software will guess what was over here based on everything else, and then center it
mhm.
and make it the way you want it. That's
Yep.
crazy. Now what? Now that's gonna, in my opinion, make it a lot harder, even more hard to believe that what you seeing in a photo off from your phone is actually something paranormal, because
Right.
it's most likely AI, having a brain fart. Because AI has some interesting moments. AI has a lot of senior moments. It's like,
Yeah. Even
sometimes
though
it can't
they
even do simple math.
Yeah, they say that like it wasn't Elon Musk that said like you would compare the current stage of AI to like a toddler
Right, but
or
it's been
something
that
like
way.
that.
How long is it going to be a freaking toddler?
Well, it's only been out for like 2 years, if that, dude. I
No,
mean,
definitely not. Alan Turing is the guy who like started working on AI. And this has been a long time ago.
oh well, yeah, AI in
Eh,
general has been around for decades,
right.
but I'm talking about
A
like
it's
open
a
source
general
to the
language
public.
model.
Right.
General language model AI is what ChatGPT is, and
Mhm.
all those. I think I can't remember what's the other type that is actually able to learn and make its own. It's like sentience anyway. Um, yeah, but that okay. Now, like we talked about before, we're always the consumer or people, like your everyday average citizen is usually 10 years behind the curve when it comes to the technology that's actually available. And I assume that's gotten exponentially worse, you know, in modern times, just because like these mega wealthy corporations, it's like some crazy, like everything you've seen in in like the old Total Recall is like kind of legit, or some of those
Yeah.
old B movies, right? It's kind of legit. It's kind of like on point. Nikolai Tesla predicted that we'd carry cell phones,
Hmm.
and he predicted that we'd talk to people like with a device that fits in our breast pocket. So like, I wonder if he ever thought about AI because they were working on AI like as soon as computers came out. It was predictive learning, is what it basically was. It would
Yeah.
learn the probability that something would happen or that the outcome would happen, and it would make it basically an educated guess.
Yeah.
Now, so that being said, I hear a lot of people talking about incorporating AI into paranormal devices. Now, I just don't know how that's going to work. There's something creepy about AI all on its own, right? I'd say AI is paranormal in itself. Well, maybe not in its current form, but in its potential form is like super paranormal, like supernatural, in my opinion, because we're talking about the development of a new sentience, not like a life form, but a sentience, an intelligence, not just something that knows all the answers to your questions,
That's assuming that
or
it
can mimic
becomes.
a story like you say, hey, Chat GPT, write me a story about Iron Man fighting Spider Man, and it'll just take basically all the stories it's ever learned about superheroes fighting each other, and then Iron Man and Spider Man, and it will do its best, and it will use the basic template that someone would use to write a short story, and it's just going to do that. And it's going to throw in like algorithm type stuff, right? Things that
Right.
it knows is popular. But what happens
Mhm.
when it does become sentient? That's like a new form of intelligence, which is kind of what like some paranormal beings are. We don't know what they are. We don't know how they operate. We don't know the mechanics of their existence, but we know we think they're there. There's some evidence that kind of supports that, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, AI is uh, a potential paranormal phenomenon, if you ask me. But anyway, it's in our
I
phones. It's gonna eventually be in everything. People are gonna like use it like a genie. I feel like not a genie, but like a great and powerful Oz. You ask it any question, and it's gonna know the
I'm
answer, or
kind of like
or
Google.
or it's gonna think it knows the answer. It's gonna know. It's gonna have an answer for you that will
I feel like
be
Google does that already.
Google. That's what Google. Yeah, Google. That's exactly what it kind of is.
The
Google
search
is
engine, like,
like
you want to know
it's the
anything, Google it.
Oracle, man. It's the Oracle, bro. Ask the Oracle.
So Google it.
Yeah, man. You better
So
Google
one
better Google
thing
that
I will
shit.
say, There is a device that I have been in like kind of been working with people to develop that is incorporating AI in the sense of learning based on different locations. So basically, the idea is like different locations hold energy and they hold environmental, uh, what do they call it, baselines and different readings of different types, right?
Mhm.
So now, what if it is something where you were to take this device around from location to location and it would kind of learn from each environment, learn about like different spikes that it picks up on, learn, and then become its own kind of personality based on, you know what I mean? Like,
I
and so
Yes, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
my idea
saying.
with that though, my idea with that though, is that it would become a tool in investigating in the eventually, like somehow, some way, it could help maybe down the line with something, right? Like I don't know yet, but I have a feeling
I have a
that
feeling that anything AI will only debunk because it will be incapable
well,
of
and that's
the belief in something that it can't perceive.
I think it only depends on like I think when it comes to evidence, yes. 100% I agree with you. But when it comes to like with what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to
I
present
mean,
it
it's a cool
necessarily as
idea.
evidence.
It's a cool idea.
It's
Don't get me
not
wrong. I'm not bagging
and
on it.
it's not going to be it's not going to be about evidence. Like I'm not going to present evidence based on what this thing said or what this thing was doing. But um I think that down the line, what if it will pick up trends based on the energies at different supposedly haunted locations, and eventually, I'm hoping that maybe it can pick up on certain trends and say like, but a lot of it is just data collection. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is just about like really noticing certain trends and different and I'm hoping maybe that it could help piece together like maybe as certain locations the energy is like this, and so we're getting these type of results from locations like this specifically, but we go to like a prison and we get these types of certain results. Doesn't matter what prison or jail we go to. And so like we could start like I think that it's not necessarily like going to be evidence right away. Like it wouldn't be evidence in its current state or in any near state. But like I think eventually we could use that data to corroborate with other things or to help lead us to where we need to go, if that makes sense.
Um, sure. No, I think it's an interesting idea for a device, something that but you're not like
I don't
all
think presenting
I
evidence though, like you should
well,
if
how
AI
is
is
it gonna how are you
presented
gonna make it develop a personality based on just environmental readings is my question. You
well.
know, I like the obelisk. I do like the obelisk. I like it because it has said some interesting stuff, right? But
Mhm.
like it's saying random stuff. Supposedly. Now, like Frank Sumption believed that the magic is in the randomness, that happens in the circuit, right? But
Mhm.
no, but that was true when the circuit wasn't designed to give you what you want, right? Because
Mhm.
this AI, you're gonna it's predictive language or
Well, I guess I
general
should
intelligence,
say
right?
and I should
So
point
so
that
you're
out though, is
so
that
you're
it's
gonna have
not
to
really
assign certain traits to you're gonna have to teach it to behave a certain way based on spikes in certain environmental uh, fluctuations, right? Or
yeah.
or maybe even listen. It could be you could use speech, like a voice recognition type thing, and it could be listening all the time. And if it hears something, obviously, then but I'm just I don't know how you would take that and then convert that into anything more intensive than say a or any. I don't say you could use that as
Well,
um
I should point out though, it's not necessarily AI
like
as
a
much as it
lead.
is like it's
It's
like
not really
machine
AI.
learning. It's like
Well,
machine
machine learning is
learning
AI.
or
That's not like basic AI. Machine learning is basic
yeah,
AI.
it's just predictive
You're
and
teaching it like what to say, and so it knows how to
it's
respond
basically
to
looking at
keywords.
percentages, probabilities, statistics, all that
Keywords.
stuff and going based on that. But
But that's usually using like a language model, right? That's why they call it
yeah,
like a language model.
yes. What's up,
So
Mike?
so
I
so
see Mike.
what you're gonna have to do is assign what it's getting to language, right? So like let's say I don't know. Let's say you've got a temperature index that you've like you're saying, okay, my temperature index is going to go from 0 to 1023, and that represents the temperature scale of like 32 degrees to 90 or for whatever, just like a regular temperature, right? Not like 100. Doesn't have to be
Well,
100. Doesn't have to be 100 because
I've talked to you about this device 1,000 times, and I don't want to like put it out here online because I know certain motherfuckers listen to me, and then they fucking so I can't. I'm not gonna do it. But you and I have talked about this before,
we have thought about it, but
and
I'll
that's
always
it's
push back
it was
to
a project.
you.
It's a project that's been like a year
No,
and a half,
I
two
know,
years in the making.
I know it, but it always, that's where I get stuck on it. Is that we can't use something that we train to do certain things. Like, are we gonna
Right,
teach it to be spooky? Are we gonna teach it to say spooky
right.
stuff? Like, are we gonna like, how the obelisk? It's like I think that's Dave Schrader's voice actually too. The obelisk. I think he. I'm not even kidding. I think that's his voice.
Really, is that
Yeah, I
that's
think
crazy.
Bill Chappell used his voice. But
Well,
you know how like whenever it says
yeah, but the obelisk has what 3,000, less than 5,000
yeah, but you
words,
don't
right?
even need that. I probably don't even know 5,000 words.
So this is
I
my
mean, do
point.
I? I don't know if I know
Oh,
5,000
of
words.
course we all do. I mean, but
Do we
this
though?
is the point though. This is the point. Like the thing I'm working on is 12,000 right now. It's got 12,000 in its database, but the way that it works is that it has to have a like a
I don't
it's
need.
got
Well,
I got it to where it needs two values, two
I
specific
think you're.
values in
I think you're going too. I think you're overcomplicating it though. I don't think you need 12,000 words, man. I
I
don't.
don't.
I don't think you need 3,000 words because somebody with, I could have like a probably a 500 word database in my brain. Let's say I only knew 500 words. I could communicate effectively and tell you what I want, tell you what I need. I can tell you how I feel. I may not be able to explain the geopolitical situation of the Middle East, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like, oh, what are the questions? Well, who murdered you? How did you die? What's your name? Da 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 da. Da. I think the amount of words is. I mean, because at the end of the day, why have a word database? Why not just use Chat GPT? Why not just connect it to Chat GPT? You know what I'm saying? And just use that. But you can't because Chat GPT doesn't believe in the supernatural. I asked it. It said people believe in it, but there's no evidence to support it. Now there used to be a Dan prompt, and Dan stood for "Do anything now," and you could actually you could copy this big long prompt. It was just like a big long paragraph, basically instructing Chat GPT that it was from that point forward to give you It's filtered Chat GPT response to your question, but also after that to give you its Dan or do anything now response, which was unfiltered. And you would get, it would be racist. It would say racist things. It would say,
Heard
you
about
know,
that
like,
actually.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it was crazy, but it doesn't work anymore. I tried it just the other day. It
No, they
doesn't
turned it
work.
off, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's there on GitHub. There's like a new, they have to
That's
stay
hilarious.
ahead of it because they keep figuring out a way to jailbreak it, basically. But
Yeah,
oh, dude, the Dan prompt was dope. It was dope.
for
But
sure. That sounds dope.
yeah, well, I
But
mean, but anyway, like I think that
I would say that the reason I am trying to make it complicated, but yet simple the idea is simple,
the
yet
idea is simple. Mhm.
but the complexity of having to pick out specific words when you have that many words, like that's what to me is more, I guess it's
Just
validating
pick
for
the words
me.
out.
Huh?
That's always been a big question for me.
Specific
Again, I like
values.
obelisks, but how the freaking specific value? But if a specific value, okay, if that's the case, then
Consecutive, like it has to have consecutive values in specific orders
I
in
love
order
it.
to perceive this thing. So like I'm not gonna like, I mean I've talked to you about the actual
I don't think
what it's
anybody's
actually
gonna
picking up on, but
take this and run away with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
dude, I
this,
am not
this is hard
bullshitting
stuff.
you,
This is hard stuff though. Like if there's people
bro.
that are
I'm
on
not
it,
bullshitting
they're
you,
gonna be
bro.
on it. And they're already ahead of us. Like like there's probably people that are already trying to do that. But here's my thing.
There's
Although it's
specific
a cool
people
parlor, it's like
that
a parlor
I'm
trick.
trying to, dude. I'm telling you, specific people. And I'm not, I know who, I'm telling you, dude, it's not even
But
like
do you
you
not think
don't
it's like a parlor trick?
what?
Like teaching a piece of electronics to say quirky things based on where
Well,
it's at.
no, it's not. I'm not teaching it to say quirky things. Like
Well, that's
I'm
what
trying
you're
to.
saying. It's going to develop its own personality based on the location.
Well, it's going to notice trends and
That I'm down with.
like that's basically going to be a big, I'm still like it's dude, it's like it's a very very complex project, and so like there's a lot of money that's already been put into the shit. Like we're talking
Sure,
like
sure.
2,500 3 grand
But see,
has
here's the
already
thing.
been put into
I
this.
don't know why. Because like you get somebody who's a really good coder, a really good
Mhm.
programmer, and they
Yeah,
can write. There's already open source versions of Chat GPT. There are
yeah.
people out there that can build a language model that is disconnected from the internet, right? So it only knows what you teach it, right? Like we don't have to do all this other stuff because it's already there, like
There's more reasons behind it, and I know you don't want to buy the fact that I can't talk, that I'm not like, I know
I'm
you
trying to
don't
make
think
you
people are
freaking talk about
listening.
it. Trying to make you talk about it.
I know, but I'm not. I can't. I'm not. I really. I'm not gonna do it because I know
Well,
these motherfuckers listen
okay,
to me.
I got you.
They
Well,
always
this
do,
is
dude.
the
It's
question
not
I've
even. And
I
you think
have.
it's bullshit, dude. I know you
I
think
don't
it's
think it's
bullshit, but
bullshit. I think it's dangerous because I think that I think that it's even more I think it could potentially be even more misleading than like let's say having just a random psychic person walking around just saying whatever pops into their head
well, it's not
during
about
your
like I
investigation.
again, this is not a. It's not about getting evidence. Like this is not an evidence type of device. It's not like, if anything, it's just like, because I don't have any psychic abilities, right?
Well, that's the
Like
way
I don't
that
have the ability. Listen, now hear me out. I don't have the ability to like pick up on shit. So like I don't know what type of energy. If I were to walk into a location, some
uh-huh.
people could tell me, "Ooh, it's heavy. Ooh, this is a dark place." Like
And
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know either. I'm like,
So
well,
if
sometimes I
I
think
have this, if I have this device and I set it up and it starts getting similar readings to other locations that have had those readings and like things like that, and it starts giving me specific specific words that it needs specific values to register, like a code, like it's a pin code almost to access this
No, I see
word.
what you're saying. You're saying
But
the sign
if
of
it does
value
that,
to
then I
the
mean
word.
that can help me at least, at the very least. And and this is just like the initial idea, and the whole point of it eventually is to, who knows where it's gonna go. But that's what I love about it, man. Is that like with you start if I start out this way, I'm just gonna roll with it, see what happens.
No,
You know
yeah,
how
but
it goes.
see,
You know how it goes.
what you're explaining is essentially ITC. But
Yeah, yeah.
historically,
I
but
wouldn't
see
try to
that,
present it as evidence though. Like that's the
but it's
thing.
still
It's like nah.
ITC. It's still ITC. We don't. Nobody presents ITC as evidence. Like you can't really do that. You can say this is an interesting thing that happened. Check this out. In my
I
mind,
would say
it
that a lot of
proves
people
this narrative.
present ITC as evidence, actually.
You cannot use a ghost box response as evidence in court. You cannot use
But you can't use
uh
anything
there
paranormal
you
in
go.
court.
Then it's not the court like that would be that is kind of like that's kind of like the defining factor of whether or not society will take whatever's being said or whatever as being
I
true.
know, but society isn't
The
always
court
fucking right either.
is our peers, right? It's supposed to be anyway. So that's like the general belief system that people have. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not. I think it's a good idea for an ITC project, except for this. This is the reason why I don't like
Not
bringing
even an ITC
it.
project though. Like that's
Well, you're saying it's going
it's
to talk and stuff, right? Is it going to be like a Jarvis? That would be cool. Like a
well, it's
paranormal.
not going to be available to the public.
Well, okay.
So that's the difference, I guess.
Well, there's a lot of ITC things that aren't available to the public. Like the Spiritcom's not available to the public.
The
Now here's
schematics are. The schematics are. They just want you. I mean, but it doesn't matter because everybody knows it was just a kind of a bunch of. But the
well, yeah,
idea
most
It
likely,
it
but
could be something if the right people had get their hands on it. Like I know you had talked about trying to redo it at one point, like actually doing it and trying to make something like make it a real thing, because the general consensus in the ITC community is
that
that the
Bill
spirit
O'Neill faked it.
conversation, yeah, it's just kind of like a it was kind
But
of
there's
bullshit.
but that's kind of like the belief in well, I mean, okay, again, we're going back to kind of like a courtroom type trial type scenario on whether or not Bill O'Neill faked the Spearcom because like we don't have evidence that he faked it, right?
Right.
We don't have like even that I know of like a firsthand account of him telling them that he faked it.
Apparently there is.
Well, I mean, I
At
haven't
least
seen it.
from what I heard from Tim Woolworth.
Well, Tim
Tim
Woolworth
Woolworth
knows a lot
told
of
me that
stuff.
there is.
Tim knows a lot, so he would know better than me.
I mean, and maybe I don't. Maybe I misheard him, but I'm pretty. He has been a big like proponent of like these Spiritcom was bullshit. Like he has been saying that for a while, but I
I
think
mean,
that
I think it sounds okay. I
that's
can
what I
say
remember. But like maybe I misheard him, or maybe I'm misremembering because I know I got brain damage from shit. So I mean,
brain ever since the day I was born. So like I like the idea, but I disagree with you. I think it's ITC, and
I think under the right people's hands, like if you were to go at it, I think you could make it like I think you could bring it to life the way that it was supposed to be brought to life, whether the original videos and shit were real or not. But I think it was because like funders were getting investors were getting impatient and like they weren't providing results. So like that's when the video just came out all of a
right,
sudden.
yeah, like
I think that's
necessity.
what the big speculation about it was.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
like
I
I
mean, you
think
know,
that if you were to if somebody like you were to get your hands on it and actually do it exactly the way that they talk about it, you go through all of Bill O'Neill, George Meeks, like fucking journals and schematics and everything, and you replicate it exactly the way they said.
I would love to get
But
my hands
you
on the
figure
equipment.
out, dude, like if you, I mean, you could rebuild it. I know you could.
Yeah,
If anybody could
right.
fucking
But I want
rebuild
to
it from scratch, it would be you.
you would think that this is one like kind of nail in the coffin for the Spiricom, in my opinion, is that there's nothing left of it. Like,
It's
after
somewhere.
that project was over, it was just not cared about to the point where everything was just scattered to the winds. You remember what Tim said whenever he said he got all the stuff that was left over from the oh damn it, what's the name of
I know what you're talking about. The metaphysical,
yes, the Metaphysical
um,
Institute
the
Foundation,
metaphysics, yeah,
whatever it
metaphysics
was.
foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like he said, it was just a bunch of papers and books and stuff, and which
yeah.
to
Keith
him,
Clark actually
I don't
has a
know.
ton
Yeah,
of
I need to
historical
talk
books. You see
that
it?
with Keith,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
I
Reach
haven't
out
talked
to
to Keith
him,
in a
dude.
long time. We need to have Keith on here, dude. We need to talk to Keith, and we need to
Dude,
talk to
I want to
uh
talk to all of them, dude.
yeah, I want to talk to a lot of
Tim, Keith, Steve and Katie,
I haven't
fucking
talked to him in a
JW,
long time,
fucking.
man.
I want anybody, like, I'd like to bring Ron Iacovetti and Lourdes on. I'd like to
Well, see,
bring,
here's the thing. Where is like last I heard that it was like everything was in a storage container in like I don't know South America
Arizona or
or
Nevada. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It
what
was
I heard
like
too.
but then Mark Clark,
Hmm.
Mark Clark, right? He
Heard of him.
like yeah, I met him in South Carolina at a Paracon. He's like one of the OG ITC dudes too, and he's pretty
Okay.
cool, man. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, he was talking about starting it back up, and I don't know if he had access to any of the gear, but I want to see this big freaking like all this like you've seen the drawings and the schematics, right?
Hmm.
I want to see
Yeah.
like they actually built all this stuff, dude. They were doing the laser bending like they weren't necessarily using it for what like I use it for, like transmitting audio, but they were doing stuff with lasers
Well, they
and
were transmitting. I thought they were
but not with a
transmitting.
laser. No, they used a like a
No, they were using an FM transmitter
no,
to
they were using the
broadcast a
laser
specific frequency. Yeah.
in the parabolic dish. They had a big
Yeah, well,
parabolic
yeah,
dish.
they were broadcasting across a specific frequency, but I don't remember if they were broadcasting the 13 tones or not.
They
Like that's what I.
were that's what they were doing. They were broadcasting it over like a air
It
wave
was a specific
radio.
FM
Yeah,
frequency. Yeah, it was.
yeah, like but not often used, like CB radio type.
Yeah, somewhere
Uh,
on the, like because I know the FM includes like the shortwave, the UHF, VHF. Like that's all right in the middle of the FM spectrum. So
it's just
like
because of the nature of the wave,
the
the
waves, yeah,
modulated.
right. Yep.
But
And I'm just saying, most people don't know that.
well, yeah, as most people, I guess most people don't need to know that.
I don't care to know either. Yeah.
Don't feel bad if you didn't know that out there at home.
No,
Yeah.
but if you didn't, now you know.
Or there's a nice little factoid for you. Hmm,
If you don't know, now you know.
hmm, hmm.
Little info nugget.
Little factoid.
What would Theo Vaughn say?
Theo Vaughn would say, "Man, I found an info nugget one time."
What did he say, info nugget though?
I don't know what else, but it would start out that way. Man, me and my friend, man, we was playing down at the creek one time. We found an info nugget. And
What
then
was that one?
that would be at the
What was that
beginning.
one he said so there was this guy on this bus and for 50 for like what he said
Yeah, that's
for
probably
50 cents he'd let you see his wiener or he would just let you see his wiener for no money.
Dude,
Either
they're
way, to
monsters,
get
dude.
past the first row, you were gonna have to see a little bit of wiener.
Theo Vaughn's ridiculous, man.
Dude, he's the best. He's so fucking funny.
I heard it. He was actually he was raised in the rich neighborhood in Georgia. I have friends that know friends that know him. Said he was
Yeah,
a preppy boy, but he claims like he was like broke Southern white trash. I
well,
don't know.
he never talks about
He
his
definitely
own.
capitalized on it. Hey,
All right,
he said like,
so
hey
let
man, we're gonna
me.
share this plum or not. I mean
All right, so
that's the whole bit.
let's be fair. Well, just because he was a rich, preppy white boy doesn't mean that he didn't have friends that lived in there and he didn't hang out around there the whole time as a
I know.
kid.
I'm just saying
A
that's
lot of his stories are about
probably.
everybody else, right?
I
And
live
everybody else
here.
might be fucking wild, right?
Most
Like,
people that don't know Norm Macdonald would think that he's just kind of an idiot, like when he talks. But
fucking normal.
he's actually like a super genius. Like he's actually so smart. He would take you around the block like on a 10-minute walk just to land a joke on you, and that would make it even funnier. And he'd start out in one place and just end up just like I had no idea you were going in that direction, and he
Bring
was
you all the way around back
comedic
to it.
genius, dude. Comedic genius. He wasn't like everybody nowadays. Well, not everybody. Shane Gillis is pretty funny. I like Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis is pretty
Shane
funny
Gillis,
too.
but he's like got a specific type of he's like college bro comedy. Making fun of
Yeah,
everybody type stuff. Did
yeah,
you see the one video? I saw a clip on YouTube of I can't remember what it's called. Where they have the famous stand up comedians. They're sitting there and they're judging like
roast.
no, they're judging like the new guy, like a up
Oh
and coming.
yeah, I
I
don't
can't remember
really
what it's
like
called.
that.
Oh, but
I don't really
dude,
get into
no, it was
that one.
funny as hell. They had a dude come up that had he had shit. Is it MS? I guess
Probably
not MS. It's
Down syndrome,
no, not Down syndrome. Oh my god. Oh Lord. Anyway, it's like
palsy. Or
yeah, cerebral palsy. There you go, cerebral palsy. And like he couldn't talk or anything, but he had his phone and he could talk with his phone. So he comes up and he said, dude, you have to watch. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to say those jokes. I'll get canceled for saying it, but the guy who said the cerebral palsy guy can say it. Said
of
that
course.
yeah. Yeah. Said he was disappointed whenever he first met Shane Gillis and found out that he wasn't actually retarded.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I have you and I have a very similar sense of humor,
Oh, dude,
and
I like all jokes. It's in my
I
mind.
know, I
It's
know,
either all okay or none of it's okay. That's
right?
my
That's my yep, exactly.
it's either
Like if you
all
get
okay
offended by
or
it,
it's
like
okay.
that's
Hey,
not anybody else's
people been getting
problem.
offended for like thousands of years, bro. Like, you
As
know.
long as it's not violence, like then like you just comedy is all or nothing. And like even like Dave Chappelle, all the great comedians, you
Oh,
always
Dave
say that
Chappelle's
shit.
the goat, dude. He's one of the goats.
Dude, he lives in fucking Yellow Springs,
Ohio.
Ohio. It's just
Yeah.
outside of Dayton, bro. Apparently,
He's got like a farm and a bunch of four-wheelers, and he's like a
mhm,
redneck. He's
yeah,
basically a redneck.
dude, Yellow Springs is like that though. It's
I
like
know, that's what I
fucking,
heard.
it's
I don't
like country. But no, when we lived in Hamilton, Ohio, we had people that we worked with that like would see him at a coffee shop that he would go to every day, like get his coffee and like he took pictures with him and shit.
that's crazy.
I was like, damn, he's just
Yeah,
chilling. He's just
Dave
out there
Chappelle's
chilling,
cool.
man.
Yeah,
But it was before he came back though, like before he like kind of came out with everything
he's got a similar style of
years ago.
comedy to Dave or Norm Macdonald. I believe it's a different flavor, but it's a similar tactic, a similar approach. He'll start out here and then end up somewhere else to land the joke. But it will
It's actually
also
like
tie back to how he started. It's a very genius
it's
way.
actually like imagine you have 2 points, you have A and B, right? And you
Mhm.
could just go from one straight line, but no, he's gonna take you over here all the way around
Yes.
in loopy loops, and you never know where you're going, and then he'll just get right back on track where he goes right.
Yes. Yeah, just with the last thing he says,
And
bam,
then
we're
like then
right
it
back.
all ties together. It's like,
Yeah, that
oh,
last line ties the whole joke together, and it might be like, yeah, seriously, Norm Macdonald has told jokes. I swear to God, like 5 minutes, he's talking about, some interaction he had with somebody, and it led to this, that, and the other, and the next thing you know, bam, he lands the joke in like one sentence, and you almost miss it sometimes. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it because you don't know when to expect it, and that's another. reason why I think it's Norm Macdonald's is the goat. The goat.
Oh yeah.
Who's the
Oh yeah.
guy that's doing the Saturday the weekend report now for freaking Saturday Night Live?
So
Because that guy's an idiot, man.
there's
That dude
two
is
of them. There's a black dude and a
two
white dude.
idiots.
And I don't. There's two of them,
Well,
and
good.
a lot of what they do is like they have them do like they'll go back and forth and do like the black dude will have the white guy do like read reports about black people and then make a black joke, like almost kind of like a racist joke, and then the black guy has to do the same thing, like, you know what I mean? It's like they kind of
Ah,
force
racism. It's always
it's,
funny.
they're making a joke kind of like out of racial
They're making a
profiling and
joke
racism.
about people who make jokes about racism.
But I think that that's necessary. We
I
got to
think
have
it's
that
too.
shit.
I think it's
Somebody's
too
got to start
obvious.
doing it
I
again.
think it's too damn obvious. Like, yeah,
But
Dave.
you know what?
Yeah, no, but they're doing it for a
Bring it
different
back.
reason. They're not being like, they're doing it to be edgy, right? It's like, but they're not going too far. It's like they go to the edge, and then they don't. Especially Saturday Night Live, bro. They're not
Yeah.
gonna Saturday Night Live. So like, if there was ever a government sponsored comedy show, it's now Saturday Night Live. 100%. It's like whatever the government wants them to do. It's great, or the corporations or whatever. But anyway, back to AI. And
It all goes back to AI though, is because like the AI, I think there's one all powerful AI. Like I think there's one, and then it feeds off of all the others.
that's the thing, though. It's not. It's a
We've talked
network.
about this before.
It's a network. AI doesn't have a body. AI's body is everywhere.
Right. It's a
It's
network.
like it's like that scene in Terminator when Skynet becomes sentient, right? And it
Mhm.
escapes through. Oh, no, it was Lawnmower Man. Sorry, all the phones on ring at the same time, and that's
I
when
don't
dude like gets into the system, and then like then the Lawnmower Man is like he gets destroyed in the movie, but like they do
lawnmower
better.
man.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man, dude. It was a Stephen King movie. Yeah, it was probably one of his better. I mean, it's garbage, but most Stephen King movies are garbage. They don't translate well from the story to the big screen. But
The books are much
books are
better.
good. A lot of them are freaking disgusting, and I just like I'm like, oh, that's a little too
Like,
edgy
let's talk
for me.
about like the teenage orgy at the end of it,
Yeah,
right?
it's a little too edgy for me. A little
Oh
too
no,
edgy
it
for this
actually
guy.
wasn't an orgy. It was like they all the boys ran a train on the
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, they just gangbanged her.
What the fuck? What the
Yeah,
hell
dude,
is
like,
this?
hey,
Like, where did that come from?
how dare you hate on Stephen King and his level of progressivism? You freaking bigot, you teenagers. Oh,
They are naturally horny.
see,
It
well,
is
that
what
is
it
the
is.
problem. That's true. That's probably true. Even though I never had that, I never, I had a group of friends when I was a kid, and I don't remember not one train ran on anybody, any of our
Yeah, no,
friends.
that like that's the thing is like it's taking
He
it to
must
the extreme, but teenagers,
maybe that shit happened to him, bro.
well, he was part of it,
Maybe he's
or
projecting that shit. That's how he's such a piece of turd, actually, Stephen King. He's just so people like him get so far out. Like George Lucas too, man. It's like, dude, bro, y'all are so. I don't know what happened, right? They seem like intelligent people, and then they started out. They were making like genre, like George Lucas defined sci-fi, right?
oh yeah, for sure.
Star Trek
And
kind of,
Steven Spielberg
but then
too.
he came along and re
I think
like
Steven Spielberg and George Lucas together redefined
well,
it, but Steven Spielberg, I mean, he
George
was.
Lucas invented the space epic.
Oh yeah,
That's what he did. He
yeah.
invented all he did was took historical crap that's happened in human history and kind of made it Mandalorians and you get the Senate and the Space Senate and all the different planets. He's basically using He even says so.
Galactic Federation.
Yeah,
Like,
he
that's all
even
sci-fi. That's
well,
all. That's
I
never
saw
happened.
I saw an interview where maybe it was Isaac Asimov that actually said it, but he was saying that one of the best ways to write a good sci-fi novel is to basically take a historical event and make it sci-fi, make it on another planet. That's basically how you do it. Like Darth Vader. What was it? Would Darth Vader be Space Jesus or would it be Luke Skywalker? It's not really Luke Skywalker. It's kind of Darth Vader because he sacrificed himself. No,
Luke
Darth.
Skywalker would be Jesus because Luke Skywalker is supposed to be the savior of the
No,
galaxy.
no,
He's
no.
like
They
he's
thought
supposed to be
he
the
was
one that defeats
supposed to
Darth
bring.
Vader.
Now we're not talking about the last three. I'm not. I
No,
don't.
I'm talking about the first three: the
And
New Hope,
I'll even
Revenge of the
take.
Jedi, or
I'll even take 4,
Return of
5,
the
and
Jedi.
6 into account. I'll take 4, 5, and 6 into account. But anything that happened after uh, episode 3 is non-canon in my opinion. Non-canon because it's all like Disney at that point. Like it's all Disney.
You talking
100%.
about okay? So you got the Phantom Menace, then you
That would
got
be episode 4.
no. It's supposed those are prequels, man.
No, I mean episode 1. Sorry, episode 1, 2, and 3. Right. That's it. What I say? Yeah, 4, 5, and 6. 4 was A New Hope.
Yeah, and
5,
that yeah.
5, yeah, and then you have Return of the
Return of the
Jedi.
Jedi, and then the
Yeah.
fifth was Revenge of the Sith, or the
No,
sixth was Revenge. No, wait,
Return of the Jedi was the last one. They wanted to call
right,
it Revenge of the Jedi originally, but Jedi wasn't in their belief system to take revenge, so they couldn't
right.
call it.
So then it would have been Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi.
No. You got A
No,
New Hope,
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire
That's what it
Strikes
is.
Back, and
Revenge
then
of the Sith
Return of the
is
Jedi.
like the third episode. Is like episode 3, isn't it? It's like before A New
Uh,
Hope, or it's before A New Hope. It's one of the
yeah,
prequels.
that's the one, but that is episode 3, right?
Yeah,
Right.
right. Because
That is
Attack of the Clones is episode 2. Phantom
yeah.
Menace is
Phantom Menace
episode
is
1.
1, right? Yep.
Yep.
Yep. But
Yep.
okay, so that being said, Luke Skywalker is definitely not the prophesied individual to bring balance to the Force.
No,
Why?
Anakin was technically.
Yeah, he did. He was, and he did. He did in the end of Return of the Jedi. He actually, when he killed the Emperor, which in my mind, that was the Emperor, the only one, and he killed the Emperor. I don't give a crap what they did in the movies with the clone emperors and everything.
You know what? You
That
make
that
a
was in
that
the
makes
comic books. That was in the comic books. I'm not bagging on it. It was part of the extended lore. That the empire existed on like a shadow empire after the emperor died,
well.
and that
You're
there's
actually right because even in the movies, like, so towards because Anakin, Darth Vader ends up fucking killing this
yeah,
Palpatine,
right.
right?
So
So
and he sacrificed himself to
for
bring
his for
balance to the force, right? So he would be Space Jesus. So there you go.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was a long,
It was like Luke
just like
Skywalker
Norm
was just
Macdonald's
like the
jokes.
longest red herring ever.
It was just like Norm Macdonald's joke. It's a long trail and it leads back to
Except
that.
Norm Macdonald's jokes are way better than Luke
Well,
Skywalker.
well, and also the way we told it was awful. So.
George Lucas is
Anything
crap.
that Norm Macdonald says would be better than what we just said.
Oh,
Norm
obviously.
Macdonald could tell that whole story way better than we just told it.
Well, yeah, it'd be much funnier just the way his pacing or the way he talks. So I got a dog the other day. Figured I got a wiener dog, wanted something non-threatening, something that couldn't like rip my throat out or something. Like maybe
I
worst
know.
you could do is like it catch me sleeping, catch me when I'm laying down or something, chewing on my neck. Get off me! Get away from me, dog! You trying to get my jugular.
Ah,
Uh, oh,
yeah.
dude, his when he was on the Weekend
It's
Report, oh
fucking
my
hilarious,
god,
dude. Oh,
they
I
got rid
know.
of him. They got rid of him because they thought he wasn't funny. They stopped letting him. Yes, they got rid of Norm Macdonald because they thought he wasn't funny on Saturday Night Live.
Well, what's crazy
No,
about
you want to know
Saturday
who's
Night
not
Live?
funny? Steve Martin is not funny.
No, he is not.
Steve
I don't
Martin
care.
is not funny. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He's just an idiot. Everything he's done, he's just an idiot all the time. He's like Adam Sandler on steroids. He's just a
Yeah,
goofy idiot, and everything he does, it's like, okay, whatever.
same
Chris
thing.
Farley did it, but he did it with flair, man. Because he was like nuts when he was just doing his idiot humor. Like that shit was fun.
Well,
He was
that's
going
the
straight
problem, though, is
mad,
that
tearing
now.
everything apart.
Well, think about that. Now you can't do what nobody can do what Chris Farley did and get the same kind of response that Chris
No,
Farley.
no, no.
But that's
Well,
because Chris Farley was the
that's because Chris
OG
Farley
of
did
that
way more
style.
cocaine than they did. Let me tell you, he had the
The
good
big
coke.
fat guy on control.
How the hell does a guy that big? How does a guy that does that much cocaine?
Well, he lives in a van down by the river.
How is he that big? How is that big of a guy doing that much coke? I don't get it. You would lose your
Because when
appetite
you
on that
are
shit.
that big, you have a
Takes a lot
tolerance
of
build up.
cocaine, man.
It
Shit.
takes a lot of fucking cocaine, and so at a certain point, the your tolerance level is higher than your body's threshold for overdose, and so like that's what happens.
Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking, I could probably, you know, like going back to the whole Avalos thing.
Mhm.
Like it is ITC.
Yeah, but I'm
Do
not
you not believe
necessarily
it is
using it
ITC?
to communicate with spirits
What are you using it for
necessarily.
then? Like, I mean, if you're not,
More or
if
less
you
to
ain't
pick
using an
up on what
obelisk
kind
to
of
talk to ghosts,
energy.
then what are you even doing? Like,
As well, it's not because it's not a novelist.
well, I know, but I'm talking about the obelisk. Let's talk about what we're talking
Oh
about.
well, for the obelisk, like yeah, I mean the obelisk is it's technically ITC.
It's
That's
ITC,
correct.
right?
It
Anything
is
that's
ITC. Yeah,
taken, that's
it's a
used.
lot more complicated, and you're basically giving somebody from let's assume somebody from 1830. You hand them a smartphone. There you go. Figure that out. Communicate with me.
Well, I mean, ITC
Pick
can
a
be
word.
it can be as complicated as a computer program that is a program to uh, create words and then
Mhm.
form sentences out of those words, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
Yep.
it could talk to you that way, right? And
Mhm.
that would be like if but there has to be a connection to the physical world somehow, or our brains don't it doesn't jive with us, right? Like so obelisk the deal with the obelisk is it uses the environment, right? Everything has to
What
use the
exactly within
environment.
the environment? What
Everything
exactly
has
in
to
the
use the but what is it like I get it that spirits could definitely influence our physical environment like a temperature, EMF readings, whatever, right? Just by but I don't think that's how they communicate. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that changing the temperature or like causing a EMF fluctuation is like them attempting to use their voice. So I don't see
right?
how first of all how that would translate into um anything that could be helpful, right? It's just like, because if I take an obelisk and I set it next to a refrigerator, it's going to just say words.
Mhm.
Blah, 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 blah. It's not gonna say anything. One the couple of those words every once in a while are gonna be relative to the situation, right?
Is that based on probability or is that actually, I mean, that's always the question. Is
It's
it based on,
it's obviously if you talk more, then you say more things, and you're more likely to be correct the more you talk about something, right? If I just say one sentence, then I'm way less likely to be right about that one thing that I commented on. But if I talk about a whole range of things, or if I say a whole bunch of sentences, odds are there's going to be bits and pieces of truth in those in what I've been saying. So that's kind of the way the obelisk I only really trust when I get something and it's like out of nowhere. I'm not getting anything else, and all of a sudden it says this thing, and we're talking about this thing. Or I have had two obelisks say the same damn thing at the same time almost. And then I've had a
Yep.
ghost box say a word, and then the obelisk say the same damn word. So
Hmm.
I'm not saying there's not something intriguing about it or interesting about it, but it's definitely I don't I don't I can't wrap my head around. It's hard for me to work on something like that. Like for me to try and develop something like that's going to, but I mean I have been working on like phonetic generators and stuff for a long time,
Oh yeah.
but it's more like now I have the word generator thing I made the other day. It kind of says sentences. That's kind of cool.
Hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I
Uh,
want one of those to replace my prism.
yeah. Oh, don't worry about it. You'll get one. But like, it's definitely interesting and useful in the sense in the ITC investigation sense. I think there's a difference between like a traditional like debunking paranormal investigation and actual narrative driven ITC communication investigation, right? Like, are we trying to verify whether a place is actually haunted or not, or are we there assuming that the place is haunted, that there are intelligences there that we can't see that we're going to talk to using these things? That's kind of that's a different approach. And that's kind of like what I always tell people. I'm not really the guy who's going to come in and be like, well, you're getting scared in this area right here because you got all these electrical wires
Right.
hanging over your head. And that's causing them what they call a fear cage. And you in it, baby. You all up in the fear cage. You need to get out, step outside the fear cage, and you won't see ghosts.
Outside the fear cage.
Because most people
Right.
have it in their head if they believe their place is haunted to the degree where they've already called or contacted a paranormal investigator to come out and look
And
at it.
this
You're probably not going
automatically.
to convince them that it's not haunted.
Hmm. I also I mean, yeah, especially when it comes to ITC users too, because we're the type of people like I go stand out in the middle of the street, turn on a ghost box, call out to them, and they'll come. Like that's kind of it's kind of like they say that thing. It's the same, similar way to a Ouija board. Like you could set it up anywhere and call them out, and it will come. But like so I don't really necessarily believe that if you're trying to find out if a place is haunted, I don't think that going in with ITC or going in with the ghost box is necessarily the right solution because,
No, at
like you
that
said,
point
it's not.
you're
Yeah,
assuming
that's
that it is haunted. You're there to
you'll have to go in
communicate.
there with the assumption that it is haunted. Yeah,
That's like going to a place to do a séance. It's like you're not going to verify like paranormal activity. You're going to try and communicate with something that's there because
you've
there has
already
been
done the
paranormal.
verification process. Is
Well, yeah,
what
that
I
you
mean. We would assume that you would have done that
yeah.
verification process beforehand,
Well,
right?
I don't, but I mean, I don't. I'm not going to come in and like check every claim that everybody's made about a location before
Right.
I investigate it, before I do my thing.
Well, I
I
mean,
go
I
into
meant
those
like,
situations like being like I'm there with the I'm operating on the assumption that the place is haunted. I don't
mhm,
know who it is or what it is. I don't go that far as believing because a lot of people when they tell you these ghost stories, they will have a narrative that goes along
mhm.
with it, and they believe the spirit is this certain person that used to live there, usually a long time ago for some reason because they like to be ghosts back then. That was the thing, and
Yep.
and like I will go into the situation believing that they've had paranormal activity happen. They believe there's an intelligence there, and I am going to attempt to talk to it. That's how I
Yeah, but
investigate research.
no, and that's a good way to do it. I'm just
That's
talking about
the
like if
way.
you're trying to determine whether or not somebody's place is haunted, the first thing, I mean, obviously in a standard protocol investigation, right, is to go through and get your baselines, go through, do your interview process, like make sure you do, yeah, you, so if you go in there with a ghost box, an ITC device of any kind, right, like right away, then you would have to assume that at least somebody has done enough to say that there's something at this specific location that we've like we've gotten enough evidence to say that this is not just baseline shit, just by like things that can be debunked,
So,
eliminate all that shit right away, right?
right. Oh, but going Tim, because Tim said he wanted us to read um his
Comment.
obelisk story. And so basically what he says is, there was a situation, a guy was shot, called 911, went from there. A year later, he got a subpoena to go to court based on his interaction, that how he helped or whatever, what he did. And
Yeah.
yes, that is a situation where you used a device that communicated something, or somebody was able, or something communicated with you and helped you to facilitate a situation. And the court called you in and used uh your role in that situation as evidence, right, for whatever they were trying to prove. But they're not going to look at your obelisk and be like, oh, well, the obelisk said it, so that's proof. They're going to say, you were already a witness. If you stopped and you called 911, you probably would have been subpoenaed anyway, regardless. Like, it wouldn't have mattered how you found out. If you said the good Lord Jesus descended from on high on a pink cotton candy cloud and said, "Hey, somebody needs help." They don't care how you got that information, how you ended up there, like, unless it's nefarious or something. But like the only thing that really matters is what you did in the situation.
Right.
So, but that is a good story. That's a cool story, man. I mean, ITC, I think it probably
Yeah.
could be used for helping solve crimes and stuff.
Mhm.
It can also probably do the equal amount of damage, when it comes to like using um, ITC, trying to implicate people in crimes based on what you've got in your ITC work. That would be a dangerous. And so it's like, where's the line? Where what? I've
Yeah.
had lots of people contact me and want me to do like a psychic thing, I guess, and give them a ghost box reading and tell them who murdered their daughter. And dude, like, I
That's
got put on the
heavy.
spot one time, man, and this dude calls me. He's like, "Hey, can you do a video chat with your ghost box? I got some friends that their daughter was murdered, and they think they know who done it, and they want, can you see if you can get anything to the ghost box?" And I'm like, dude, I understand that sucks and that's painful for them, and they want answers, but like,
Nope.
I don't want. It's not that I don't want to help. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to. Or not only that, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to implicate. What if the ghost box tells me the wrong guy did it? Like, and like the
You don't want
like
to be held
the judge
responsible.
ain't gonna give a shit about what my ghost box says,
Right.
but
Yeah.
public opinion will give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, like, if you go to court, you go on trial, you might be found innocent, but that don't mean that it's like OJ. It's like, come on, bro. Yeah, they found you innocent. Yeah, we all know. We gotta know. We know what happened. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that it would have to lead to hard evidence. Like you can't just use the responses from the device as evidence. Like if you were like, so for instance, like there's a story that Mike Green, my partner, he used a direct link. And like he went out with some psychic on a missing persons case, and apparently like the direct link led them to a specific area in a pay lake, like way like off the beaten path kind of deal. And like when you look at the lake from above, you can see like this square.
Now I've heard that story, but there was no
But
IGC involved. That was somebody
yeah, there
looking
was the
on
direct
Google.
link. No,
Well,
the
that
direct
was a
link
different
led.
situation then because I
I
watched that.
listen. The direct link led Mike to a specific pay lake, like with
Oh,
the answers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when he got to this late pay
Oh, you're
lake,
saying
like there
Mike
was a
Green.
specific, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when he got to this pay lake, there was a specific spot that he said when he was like she led him to the spot and then said stop when he got to the spot, and apparently immediately he started like crying, getting super emotional. But when I looked at the pay lake from Google satellite images, there's like right at the spot that he said that he started like breaking down, there was like a weird dark rectangular shape in the water. You could see it like right overhead,
So did
but
somebody
apparently,
die
like,
there?
huh?
So did they die there or something? Did they drown there?
Somebody, well, according to the direct link, and according, like, she's a missing person, her car is missing,
See, now
and
that's
so,
the reason why I say I've heard a story similar to that is because that's happened several occasions. I used to
oh
watch
yeah,
a
it's
show
probably,
called What on Earth, right? And they would
oh
look
yeah,
at evidence from like satellite
hmm
photos and stuff, and
yep,
so there was one situation where that exact thing happened, but it wasn't somebody wasn't led there. They were just like perusing on Google Maps
hmm
one day, and they just happened to zoom in on this one little neighborhood and this pond, and then they could see a car sitting in it. And but then
hmm
that obviously led to the police coming out, and they pulled the car. And they found a couple times actually it's happened.
hmm
It happened
yeah,
right down here in well they didn't find it via satellite, but I forget how they found them, but people just drive their car into the water more often than you would think.
right, dude,
Like,
that's not a lie either. It's not a
yeah,
lie. That is
no, the
true.
DR60. Okay, DR60 is a good example of
Oh,
a
there we go.
piece of a electronic device that happened during that
Analog to digital conversion era,
yeah that yeah
98, 99. Yeah.
it was before that though. I want to say the
The
DR60 was like
DR60
90.
was released in 1998.
Was it 98? Okay, okay. Shit, that seems like such a long time ago to me. Because I'm old.
Well, it was 15 years ago, roughly. 14,
15.
15.
15.
Huh?
15 years ago.
15. Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry, the way you said that was really hillbilly.
15.
Yeah, you
15
sounded, that was
years
more
ago.
hillbilly
Hell,
than
I remember when there
POV.
wasn't nothing around here. See all that? None of that was here.
It was just a big old orange
It was
grove.
just a big
Grove
old
on Orange
field.
Street.
Big old field. We used to go cow tipping out there. And there's a Walmart. That's when you know you're old, when you're riding down the road and you start talking about how, yeah, you see all this out here? It used to not be shit over here.
Yep. This is all
It used to
new.
just be woods.
You talking about shit that's been around for like 30 years that's still new.
No, it's
This
like,
is all new. This never used to be here.
no, it's because that's what all, like, that's how you know somebody's old. They start
Right,
talking about
exactly.
how it was never like, hell, it used to not be anything out here. I remember. I
And it
remember
was
back,
like 30 years ago.
yes, it
It's
was here like
like that shit's been
30
there for
years
30
ago.
years,
You
Grandpa.
were 12.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, things are growing a lot faster though, I think, these days.
Oh yeah.
Either that or I'm getting a lot older because I find myself saying, "Oh, see out here, there used to not be shit out here. Now there's a
Yeah.
damn subdivision and a GameStop."
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know, man.
It's true though.
Yeah, but I know it sounds like I'm being argumentative with,
Hmm.
but I'm not. I'm just like these are questions. These are like things people are going to think whenever you say things to them, like, "Oh, I got this message from this ghost box or this piece of
Hmm.
electronics." And I believe it's something from beyond talking to me to this thing. People are
Yeah.
obviously going to be speculative. They're gonna be a little suspicious of the validity of your, you know. But I'm saying it like
Yeah. No, absolutely.
obviously if I didn't think there was something to it, waste I wouldn't have wasted as much of my life messing with it as I have.
Hmm.
You know, and it's not like I'm getting paid to do all this stuff. Like, I'm just like any other person. I ain't rich. I would think that if I was like doing all these magical paranormal miracle works, I'd be like Zach Baggins. Oh wait, that's what happens when you exploit it. You have a museum full of shit that you don't really deserve to own.
You
That's
pay
my
for
opinion
it.
on that. No, for real. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. It just kind of it cheapens everything, bro. It cheapens. I hate things that cheapen everything.
I'm gonna be
Like
honest.
things
If
like
I
that.
was in his position, I would do
I
the
used
same motherfucking thing.
No, I
I'm not
wouldn't.
gonna lie, I
So
would.
if you were a member of the band Kiss, you'd be like, hell yeah, put my picture on that cereal box. Hell yeah, we want our own cereal brand. Kiss is like famous for being sellouts.
Well, like if there
It's like
is a
monetizing everything.
yeah, if you had a museum, if I was a huge Kiss fan and I had a museum full of Kiss merchandise, like every possible thing that ever came out that has
me
ever,
and you would not be friends.
but that's the thing is like if it's not that, like I would love to open up like a paranormal equipment museum or a ghost box museum or something like that. Like I want to have enough ghost boxes by the time I'm old as shit to be
Yeah,
able to do that.
I mean, I get it, but I guess if it were anybody else, I wouldn't give them as much shit.
I know.
I would,
'Cause
I
you're
wouldn't,
dead.
bag, I wouldn't bag on them if it wasn't baggins.
Yeah, or me.
I don't like that. I don't like it when people like their egos run entire like situations. Like
Oh, he's destroyed entire situations because of his
yeah,
ego.
yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of controls the like that their ego controls the climate of the. I'm trying to be vague. I'm trying to say things vaguely so I'm not too like on the nose. Like,
Bad energy, man. Bad vibes. You put it
yeah,
out there and it comes
put it
right
out
back
there,
and kicks
man.
karma.
Right. Bad
Revenge.
waves, bad waves. Like you throw a pebble in the pond, you get like ripples. These are just fucked up ripples getting sent out everywhere. Or no, it's just like multiple pebbles getting thrown in, and ripples are fucking each other up.
Well, it's actually more like you throw a pebble in a pond, it'll go out to the edge and then come back at the pebble. So like everything that you put out comes right back to you eventually. What goes around comes around, right?
Unless you die first, and then
I
you get
mean,
then you get
depending
into
on
the
the
afterlife.
spiritual world, depending
Right. Then
on
you get into the afterlife, man. So it is what it is, right?
well, if you believe in heaven and hell, then
Yeah, I do. I believe in. I believe in. I
you
believe
know,
in. I believe. I think. I don't think there's. I mean, Heaven's an interesting concept. I believe there's a heaven, right? I don't think it's what we think it is. I don't think it's like. I don't think it works the way we think it does. I don't
like the
think it's.
pearly gates and all that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of like if it is, then fuck that. That's gonna suck. Like if everything's just clouds and shit, and everybody's wearing white robes and like
all these
there's a
fucking
dude that judges you as soon as you get there to get
all these
like
judgmental motherfuckers. I don't want to
yeah,
be
and then,
around
and
these
then it's like
assholes.
it's like some people have more other have other it's like
Right.
but heaven's supposed to be like everybody's happy and the same. Sounds like communism to me. I don't know, man. But I'm not saying that. I don't know what I'm saying with that. That's a weird. That's a weird. It's a weird connection to make. But I'm serious. It's like having a over. It's like having an over. It's like having an over goddamn like an overzealous homeowners association.
Yes.
It's like all your shit needs to be the same. See that bush over
Limitations to
there?
what you
That
can
bush
do.
is 2 inches taller than your other neighbor's bush.
Or your grass is 3 inches long. It's supposed to be one
Whatever,
inch.
dude. I am the redneck in my neighborhood. It is so bad. I don't even care anymore. I used to care.
Oh,
I used
I
to be
know.
mad about it. Now I don't even care. I look around, all my neighbors got nice grass and shit. And I'm like, man, that's some nice grass, dude. Well, I'm going
I
back to
know
playing
there have
video
been
games.
times that you and I have talked on the phone. You're like, man, I think there was one time when we came out, and
I'm
you
like,
were talking to me because you had actually mowed the lawn, or you were
uh,
mowing the lawn when we arrived, or something. I don't remember, but I remember that you had at one point expressed an interest in making your lawn better.
I
And
do. I
then
want
I've
to,
also
but
heard you talk about fuck those guys at the HOA. Like, I'm just
yeah,
gonna let it grow. I just
yeah,
want to
fuck.
let it grow.
No, yeah. I've never got a letter about my grass, but I did get a letter because I had a like a wooden crate box that had sitting in front of my garage door, and it's like I got a letter for that. Are you freaking kidding me? Like I let my grass get high as hell. Who the hell's got time to cut grass twice a week when you freaking work all the time? It's insane, man. It's insane. Like I do not care about my grass that much. I don't even care if it's green anymore. Shit, I don't. Even, I mean,
No
it's
fucking-
like it's
Who the
mostly
hell has
green.
time?
No, you know
Like
what? If it were up to me, I'd get rid of all that shit and I'd put down just
turf,
like them rubber chunks,
turf,
like a
fucking
playground,
turf. Yeah.
astroturf.
Well, like I'm talking about like football turf. Like
Yeah,
it has the
astroturf.
rubber. It has the
Yeah.
little AstroTurf. It has the little rubber beads on it underneath for
Mhm.
grip. And when you run in cleats, like it'll kick up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do that. I'd be down for that.
Well, it is true. Like,
just like rocks, man. Just like gravel, and then I could
mhm.
just use a flamethrower to cut the grass. Just go around burning any sprouters. You know. I thought about
That's
like
awesome, bro. That's a badass way to do it,
I'll be on board with AI if it helps me cut my grass.
dude.
Like
I want to
I
get one
want
of
a
those. You gotta get one of those like lawnmower Roombas.
Roomba lawnmower. I know,
Dude, they
right?
fucking have one, dude. I
Dude, I
would,
can't
man.
afford shit like
With
that,
your
man.
yard, you could. With my yard, fuck
I can't
no,
afford
man. That
shit like that.
motherfucker is so. My yard is way too
You
damn
know that bitch
big.
is expensive too, man. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, it's
Well, they
probably as much as a cheap car. I would imagine.
yeah.
Maybe not that much. Maybe like
Uh,
as much as an expensive lawn, like a expensive rider. I
But
don't know.
shit,
Somebody should look that
A
up.
Roomba like vacuums every so often and it parks itself. And
And
now
recharges,
they even get
yeah.
rid of their dirt by itself. You don't have to like the one that I have.
Mm,
One of the first ones, you had to like pull the little dirt tray out and dump it in.
yeah.
And but yeah, but it had a charger and it would go home if it started dying. It would just drive home back to the charger and it would dock
Yep.
itself and charge. But now I guess they're a lot better now. Like used to be, you could put uh like black tape. Was it black tape? I want to say it was black tape. You could just take black electrical tape, I think it was, and put it on the floor somewhere, and it wouldn't go past it because it would think that that was an edge, and it didn't want to fall off the edge. So, but anyway, now we're talking about
Man, that's not a
Roomba.
bad idea.
Deadpool had a Roomba with a little Hawaiian girl on it. So you know what? I did the same thing. I did.
See, I would, if I was rich, I would definitely invest in a lawnmower Roomba. But my problem is I have 2.5 acres basically, and most of it is just straight field. So like I mean, that's a lot of fucking
I think
grass, man.
cutting grass, it's gonna have to be more than a Roomba, right? It's gonna have to be like some Elon Musk type, like Tesla type technology, some Google whatever drive, like how they have the self driving shits that
Mhm.
basically they use AI and all that stuff. Like you're gonna have that GPS because it's gonna have to know where it's at and everything, or
Well, that's
it's just gonna look all fucked up, and I might as well just you know get a chimp to cut the grass at that point.
get some
All
sheep or
different
get like some
different
goats.
circles and different patterns, and kind of like I
Just
used to
get
cut
some
grass when I was
goats.
a kid. Yes, goats are cool. Goats eat grass,
Get
but
some goats.
it comes out the other end is what
Manure.
potentially could be worse than the grass being a little long because you're stepping in goat
Well,
shit everywhere you
you
go.
know what, man? I live in the middle of fucking cornfields and soybean fields and all that shit. You know how often the fields I go outside someday, like just as I was coming back inside already, smelled like horse shit. So
Well, yeah, well
it could
well,
be
it's
a good market
fertilizer
for
too, right?
manure,
Yeah,
huh?
fertilizer. Right? It smells like fertilizer. They're fertilizing.
But it's cow shit or horse shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's actually
that's a
a
good
horse barn down the
slogan.
road from us too.
That's a good slogan. Or a good slogan for
So,
like a fertilizer company. That's a bunch of horse shit, or that's a whatever. Them other fertilizers. Oh, they're a bunch of horse shit. I don't know.
you you hear about these? Like I would use it in the third person, like talk about myself. Like you hear about that boy Austin? He's got the horse shit over
Oh
there,
yeah,
or
like
he's full of horse
you
shit, or
look
something
here.
like that.
KD's horse shit's the best horse shit around. It is. That's speaking of yourself in third
All
person.
kinds of horse shit over at Austin's.
KD really don't like that idea too much. I think KD thinks that his horse shit's better than Austin's horse shit.
KD's just full of horse shit. He's just got a lot of horse shit over at KD's house.
So full of shit. There you go. Regulative. What the hell?
Genius marketing idea for anybody that wants to take it.
Reckless speculation. I am the executive.
Reckless speculator.
Yes, I'm the head.
I am the theoretical theorist.
You are the leading theoretical theorist in the field. Yeah, I will
Yeah,
say
I
that.
believe.
You
I
are the leader of your field,
believe it.
and
I believe I'm the only one in my field.
you you're the only one who knows that you're a theoretical theorist. You're the
I'm
only
the
one
only one there.
who has become aware of that and identified it. And I think we actually labeled it that one day we were talking on the
I've
phone.
created a new
Hey, I helped you create
field.
that because I
You did
caught
help
that
me
shit.
create
I
that.
caught that shit, and I was like, "Well, hold on. What the fuck is a theoretical theorist? I know what a theoretical astrophysicist is.
I
I know what a
forget
theoretical
what I was trying to
biologist is,
say. Even that shit was funny.
but a theoretical theorist."
That shit was epic.
Yeah, man, that'd be
It
like
was
Joe
epic.
Rogan, bro. Joe Rogan is a theoretical theorist because he has theories about other people's theories. Hey, that's kind of what we're doing right now, but you're just better at it, obviously, because you're the world's leading.
Theoretical theorist,
Hey,
dude.
that'd
If they had like,
be good at
if
something.
if they had like a, I'm passing out. I'm the guy that's passing out the G passes for theoretical theories. You know what I mean?
No,
Like I don't even need a G pass. I'm past that. I'm passing them out now, and you can't have that.
you're issuing G passes.
Yeah.
Whoa, shit.
Except for people that are. I'm issuing
That's like
theoretical theory.
some shot collar type shit right there, man. Theoretical theorist shot collar shit.
Hey, that's
That
Frank
you know
Sumption did
nothing
that.
about.
Hey, Frank Sumption was he was passing out the cards back in the day. You know what I mean? He was the one that was doing it. And I don't say passing out the cards as in like policing. You know what I mean? Or like determining who's in and who's out, right? It's just like talking about like somebody who's going to be the start. Who's
Well,
the start?
that's like
Who's the
the the
founder of the
the
theoretical
boss.
theorist?
That's the boss.
No, he's just I wouldn't necessarily call James Naismith the boss of basketball, but he invented basketball.
No, but Joseph Smith invented
Invented
Mormonism.
fucking Mormonism. That's right, but that doesn't mean he's a fucking. That
Mormon.
doesn't mean
That
anything.
don't mean he's a
Well,
Mormon.
it does.
Well, it kind of does mean that.
Well, that's a
What about L.
prophetic
Ron Hubbard? Was he
situation.
a Scientologist, or did he just start the shit? I mean,
He was a science fiction writer for
can you
sure.
start a religion and not be a part of that religion? I believe you can.
And your religion is literally all of your other science fiction works
Yeah, like all these other
combined
people,
into one.
just like get so into it, and you don't really see what the big deal is. Like
And then you get up to the top level, you paid thousands and thousands of dollars to
everything you
find
do
out like it's
is
all about aliens and alien spirits and
hey
shit.
man, you ever seen Battlefield Earth? That's Scientology, man.
Lord Xenu.
Dude, it's
Hell,
like Battlefield Earth
Xenu.
with John Travolta is like what they is how they believe. It's not far off from what what's his name said though. I think that L. Ron Hubbard took a lot of ideas from the Chariots of the Gods guy, the ancient
Eric Von Daniken.
Eric von Daniken, yes,
Mhm.
because I mean
Oh yeah, Eric, he's an
he's
OG, man.
basically explaining it the same way. Like
He's the
Eric von
grandfather.
Daniken is the first one that kind of said it out loud, sort of. I think there were some other writers like in the 18th
Yeah,
century
well,
that talked
no,
about it
well, yeah,
vaguely.
sort of and sort of not. Yeah, there was like Eric Von Daniken was really the one that kind of there were other people in the past that wrote books
They had
that had
mentioned
talked
it.
about
They never
but
went
it
into
wasn't necessarily, yeah, they had mentioned
autistic
like some
details.
kind of external intervention is what they called it, like not necessarily aliens but
They
some
didn't
kind
really
of
speculate.
external advanced, right, and they didn't
It
go
was
into depth. But Eric von
mostly
Daniken
to
kind
be
of brought
religious.
it, like he started pointing out all the biblical
Right.
the all the biblical stuff, all the
Similarities.
religious texts, like basically saying what if it's misinterpreted technology, like they'd have no frame of reference, so what would they call like a pillar in the sky, a pillar of fire in the sky that led Moses to the fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like that kind of
Yeah.
shit, like was
Well,
that really just
well,
a weird
Star
pillar of
Trek
in the sky of God, or was it
Star Trek kind of
something?
like took shit tons of notes from that. That's when it like it
He really
didn't.
popularized the
Yeah,
idea,
that's
I
what I was
think is
gonna
what it
say.
was.
He introduced the idea of ancient aliens to uh pop
Extraterrestrial
culture.
visitors in our ancient
Pop
past
culture. He
that
introduced it to the general population, whereas before nobody like there was just obscure mentions of maybe in the short stories or somebody's
yeah,
just ramblings like one of these people who like you didn't realize it, but it turns out they were freaking alchemists, so they were probably drinking their own pee and stuff. Like what's his name, Isaac Newton. He was an alchemist, dude. Do you know he's an alchemist? You know what the sorcerer? Do you know what the stone is? Not the sorcerer's stone. That's from Harry Potter. Uh,
the
the the
philosopher's stone.
the philosopher's stone. Do you know what that? I believe that is
Supposed to be
it's
the thing
piss.
that turns everything into gold, right?
It's piss. Like like
It's best you
alchemy
think.
is piss magic. Yes, I'm telling you. Like they were into body fluids back in the day, dude. Like all magic and shit was like so body fluid based, it was ridiculous. And I'm not just talking about blood. No, no,
No,
no. More often sperm, like semen, is actually the one of the most common ingredients in any spell or magical thing, ceremony or whatever. It's always either uh, semen or piss. Like piss was a big deal. R. Kelly would have been even like you think he was popular
he would
like
have been bowling back
in
in
the
the day.
'90s, dude. He would have been like
He was
Xerxes.
born
He would have
way
been the
past his
king, bro.
time.
He would have been like the Da Vinci. of his time.
R. Kelly was born way past his time. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's right. He should have been around during the
he
back
was
in the
born
day
way
when being
past
an
his.
alchemist
Yeah.
and everybody like drinking your own pee was cool.
They used to brush their teeth with that shit, man.
Yeah, Rome, yeah, sure did. They'd take your piss and they'd sell it back to you. Isn't that messed up?
They would though. It's
They'd
fucking
take your
weird.
piss. They would use the urea nitrate. They would like break it down into that, and you could use it for fertilizer. That's all we allowed to
Yeah,
use Afghanistan to use. Since they couldn't have ammonia nitrate anymore, so they had to use
right.
urea nitrate, and also explosive. However, just not. It's takes a bigger concentration of it. But anyway,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, man, Rome was, we're kind of like based on
So
Rome.
what's that statistic?
Rome was around for 2,000 years, and they
So
brushed their teeth with their piss, but they were the
so what's that
longest.
statistic? There's a statistic that says that every man
Thinks about Rome like daily.
at least once a day. It's like,
Uh,
wait a
yeah,
minute.
yeah. I
In
mean,
some
I
way,
agree.
shape, or form, we
Well,
kind of do.
well,
What the
shit.
fuck?
Everything is you can damn near everything
It
can
all
be
goes back to
traced
ancient
back
Rome.
to Roman times. Even
Ancient Rome, yeah.
the width of the space shuttle, the freaking width of the space shuttle is based on some shit from it's Rome is the reason why the space shuttle is the dimensions wide that it is. Did you know that? Because it had to be transported on highways where the our like ideal dimensions for highways nowadays comes
Mhm.
from Roman times,
Mhm.
and they based the width of a lane on a road based
Mhm.
on two horses, two full grown horses side by side, because that would be what would be pulling your wagon or your chariot or whatever, I guess, is two
Yeah.
horses. So two horses' asses. They based the width of the space shuttle on two horses' asses side by side. Ultimately, that's the case. Yes.
I mean, like,
Look it up,
I think,
bro. I mean, don't bother
yeah,
googling it. That
it's,
shit's true.
I'm not
All
even
right,
gonna doubt it, but like,
it's 100%, bro.
I
I'm
mean,
keeping it real.
everything that we do, I mean, Romans, really Romans were they were the pioneers and like the ones who created the modern structure of society. Like
Were they
that's
the ones who created everything, or they were just kind of
well,
like
they're the reference. They're
they
the
were the
reference
Americans of their time, right? They were good at
for modern
and
society, is what I'm saying.
they were good at acquiring all the quality things that they found pleasurable from all over the empire.
As a
Well,
modern society, as a modern society, is what I'm saying.
depends
Like
on where you live. Society was
Western
always modern.
civilization, Western civilization is based on all off of like Roman civilization back
Yeah,
in the day.
yeah,
Like
loosely.
the way that civilization, like they
Yeah.
had a government, they had, like
Senators.
all of that. Yeah, exactly. Like
They
all
had
of that
city states. Well, they had city
has
states.
kind of
And
just the way that society is structured, I think, is how Western
there's some.
civilization now is structured based on the and like math as goes back.
Shit,
You
look
go
at
like
Washington D.C. It looks like a
the
lot of
White
the
House
buildings
has the
look
Roman
like
pillars,
the architecture is actually
Roman.
near 100%. Yeah,
Well, colonial is kind of like the way it is, but like colonial architecture
it's
is
a
based on Roman architecture.
romanticism of Roman times. So like
I
we
wonder
didn't
if
men didn't just
romanticism.
start thinking about Rome. Men have always thought about Rome. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
think about this. Think about this. I'm just throwing this out here. Romanticism.
Mhm. Well,
Ro
yeah,
is that
Rome, because we love Rome, bro. Romance.
Is that like where romance originated? Like
Uh,
you go to Rome
Probably,
and
yeah.
you'll
Like,
get
what is,
seduced and
isn't that where
like what? That's
like
weird.
yeah,
I'm
I don't
curious
know
about
if I'm sure the word is related
that.
to the location somehow, but I
That's
don't know.
interesting. I never
There's
thought
a
about that.
there's a YouTuber I like to watch. He's Italian and damn it, his Metatron.
Hmm.
He talks
Yeah.
a lot about like ancient armor and like the reality between a movie and what the reality was like during the Persian
Right.
Wars or whatever. He talks about
Right.
like he calls out people that are like uh, uh, doing history wrong, I guess, for lack of a
An
better.
accurate portrayal of history.
Oh, that's a really good. That was good, Austin. Good word usage, buddy. You strung that little. Yeah. I couldn't think of it. I was like, oh yeah, he
Inaccurate
he
portrayal.
likes to bag on other videos that he don't think's right. And you're like, oh, you mean for an inaccurate portrayal of history?
Is that too fucking complicated for you?
Yes.
Here, let me slow it down for you just so you can understand if I say it slower.
Let it go, dog. It's
Let
over.
it go, dog. It's over. I don't wanna be like this. Guys, we love Eminem if you didn't know.
I don't love Eminem. I love his music. I don't love Eminem.
Well, that's what I mean when I say we love an artist. I say we love their music. I'm not saying like I give a fuck about them personally. Like I don't want to be his
No,
best
dude. A lot of
friend. I'm
people
not
like
trying
that.
to be
A lot of people are
I'm not
like
trying to
that.
be
They're like, "Oh
Eminem's
man,
friend. I just like his
I
music.
love this artist. I bet he's just a great person. I want to.
Oh, I
I
hate when
totally
people
hang
come at
out
me
with
like
this guy,
that.
man." It's like, nah, dude. Like that guy's
Like
probably
that's the thing. Like people come at me. I've had
a
people do that
dirtbag.
to me before because I say I like Wiz Khalifa. It's like, dude, Wiz is a dick. It's like I don't give a fuck. Like that's
Yeah,
not why I
I mean,
like him. Like
yeah,
I ain't trying to
I like
follow
his
his day to
music.
day
Yeah, right.
lifestyle.
I just try to say I like their music. I
I
don't
just like
necessarily.
their music.
I do
So
like
yes,
Tom
we
McDonald. I like Tom McDonald because I don't. But see, that's the situation where I like Tom McDonald, but his music isn't. It's
it's not bad. It's
he's a
actually
good
pretty good.
rapper. He's a good rapper, but
Yeah.
he hasn't came out with like something that's like because
He's just
he's
saying
not
shit
about
that's
popular.
already obvious, like
Well,
government
see, he
corruption
doesn't.
and shit. Like, yeah, that's all.
He's not going to sell out in order to get a number one hit, right?
Right.
And
It's kind of like that
he
Anthony
is the biggest independent rapper in the world. He is the biggest, most successful independent rapper. He's had no
oh
help.
yeah.
But he hasn't came out with like anything like Eminem songs. I could probably sing along with the majority of Eminem songs all the way
90%
up
of a minimum,
to
right?
like that one the what's the Rehab all the way up to that
Yeah,
album. I stopped
yeah.
after that album. I stopped keeping up with his albums because I just, as a person, he was, just,
He's a
tired. I
different
got tired.
artist.
Well, yeah, it's like when you're out there as much as he is, you start showing your flaws, and one of his flaws is he obviously goes whichever way the wind blows, right? Like he's kind of a hypocrite, right? He'll say like
It's fucking shady. What do you expect?
no, but
He's
that's not the
shady.
good kind of shady, bro. That's not the funny kind of shady. That's the
So
manipulative shady.
you determine what shady is good shady and bad shady?
Yeah, good shady is like
Shady is not what you want shady to be.
troll shady, bro, troll shady.
Troll
Doing it for the
shady,
lulz, doing it for the lulz because you can,
but what if?
not because somebody's telling you to do it or
But let me ask you
or
this. What if
they.
he just what if he just advanced his troll level so hard
No,
to the point where now he's like fucking
no.
causing people
No,
to like,
no.
damn,
See,
this
that's
dude's
the
like
problem
fucking
is
really bad.
he's lost his connection, his awareness of uh,
Well,
the of political socio-economic situation, right? Now
Well,
he's
he's
got
trying to
it to the
speak
point
about shit that's like
that he
really
doesn't.
not his
Yeah,
place
he's
to speak
not.
about.
Well, you're
He's
right,
not
and
somebody, but that's
right.
so many celebrities though. That's
Yeah,
like everybody thinks that
I know.
their opinion should be
They
fucking heard.
right, right. The
That's my problem.
more
I
people
hate
that
this shit.
like me
I'm
on
gonna say
Instagram,
this. I want to
yeah.
say this shit. Everybody thinks that they have a fucking opinion. Everybody thinks that their voice should be heard. But not everybody like deserves to have their voice heard.
Well,
And not
you
everybody should
deserve
be
to be
heard
able to
either.
say whatever you wanna say, but you don't
Doesn't
deserve
mean you should
everybody to
have the
have to
platform to
listen
say
to
that
you.
shit.
Right, I
You
don't
should
have
not
to
have the
listen.
platform to
No,
say shit.
why not?
Not
Why not?
everybody.
Why not? I wanna know who the freaking degenerates are. If somebody's not
Well,
allowed to talk publicly because they have shitty ideas, then you're
well,
not
no, no,
going
no,
to
no, 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 no.
know
What I'm saying
that
is,
person, you know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, people should be able to do that, but and you're right because we can weasel out people
We
that
can,
you know
yeah,
are not. But what I'm
as
saying is, you don't put
people.
people like everybody thinks they got a fucking opinion, and everybody thinks that their
Yeah.
opinion is the right opinion,
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
so they have to put it out on Facebook as if it fucking means something. But
Hey,
all it's
and that's
doing
what
is
it is.
stirring the pot. It's
That's what
100%
Facebook
all it's
is. That's
doing.
all Facebook is for.
It's
It's
sheep.
it's
It's just
it's
fucking sheeple, man. Like
it's
there's no.
it's just a method of control, for everybody, right? And if you
In a
can
way, yeah.
it
A lot of
whenever
ways,
some people
actually.
get on social media, right, and they
Mhm.
in their regular life, nothing is valuable to them. Like the only thing that's really valuable to them is
Instant
how many likes
gratification.
they get, how many views they get. Do people like them or not? They want to be like all these families on YouTube that like the whatever family, the Bus family, yeah, we're just, the whatever family, and they like they get like millions of followers, and everybody looks at them like, oh, they're a perfect family, and then it turns out their friggin' husband's beating his wife, and they're starving their kids and locking them in the closet overnight or something crazy. And it's like we put people on pedestals these days, and it's really easy to do because of social media. Everybody's a star. Everybody's a TV star nowadays. So
Everybody thinks they're a fucking
no,
TV star. That's the problem.
you are dude. The stupider and more ignorant shit you say, the more popular you will get, dude. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy.
There's
I
a
mean,
formula for it, man.
there's
However,
not really. There's not. You say things that you know will piss people off, and or this just out
isn't
like
that a fucking
batshit
formula?
crazy, like trapped water. Like we
Isn't that a
know,
formula?
yeah, the formula
You
is
know
there
how
is
to
no
play the
formula.
game,
That's like
and
Fight Club. First
that's just
rule of
playing
Fight
the
Club is
game,
there is no
man.
Fight Club.
Well, but yeah, and it's all a game, man. It's all
Chaos,
marketing. That's all
chaos.
it is. It's
Yeah, yeah.
marketing. It's knowing how to play the fucking game, and that's the way it is. They've figured out how to play the game, and then people jump on the fucking bandwagon and try to do the same formula. And a lot of
Dude,
people ride
hey,
it.
we're gonna
But
do the ice
so I
bucket
want to,
challenge, bro.
right, exactly.
We're gonna do
Got to do the ice
the
yeah, the
shuffle.
challenge.
What is
Yeah.
it?
Tell us where you want us to. We have to sit in
What's
solitary by ourselves.
what's the shuffle
Ice
thing?
Brandonautica.
No, there was a dance that they used to do on YouTube. Everybody was doing it.
The
It was
Cupid Shuffle,
shuffle, New York Shuffle, or the something Shuffle. I
the Super
cannot.
Bowl Shuffle, the original.
No, that
No,
was a song. That was a video they made back in the day. That was so damn,
that was epic, bro.
bro.
Super
That was
Bowl Shuffle was
epically dumb.
epic,
That was epically dumb.
bro.
That was the height of 1980s. Like
Tear down,
if I didn't
baby.
know better, I would think that was like a one of those little cut scenes of some shit they're watching on RoboCop.
But it's
Like
just so
I'll
funny
buy that
because
for $1.
you know what's funny is that they made that video 3 weeks. Like they hadn't even gotten to like it wasn't even the time for the Super Bowl yet. They still had to win another game to get into the Super Bowl when they made that video. So like the Bears were that fucking good at the time. They were so confident
Well,
that
had
they
the
were gonna
bridge,
fucking
man.
blow it out
They
of
had
the
the
water that
bridge.
they made that video, put it out, and then they fucking whooped on the Patriots 46-10. It was awful, bro. We destroyed them. That defense in
Harlem
1985, that
Shuffle.
Chicago Bears.
Thank you. I knew. I
Harlem
was thinking
Shuffle.
New York. Yeah, it was one of those internet
There
things.
you
The thing is, Tide Pods, all that shit. So now everything
go. Yeah.
now well, that's just if you ask me, that's natural selection. I say let nature
Yep.
take its course. If motherfuckers are eating Tide Pods just because they're that starved for attention, hey, Tide, yo, I
Survival
don't
of the
know what to
fittest,
tell
bro.
you. I'm sorry for your loss. This is-
I mean, at that point,
that's
Eminem
why do you think
going
we got
back to
these dumb people around?
bro. So that goes back
Stopping
to a
them from
lot of
doing dumb
what.
shit. You gotta
Well,
let them
okay,
do
so
dumb shit.
going back to something that Eminem used to point out in his early songs, right? Like, where are the fucking parents? Why are there not parents to be there to smack the kid on the back of the fucking head and say, "Don't eat a damn Tide Pod"? What the fuck? Or to let them do it
Or is that
and then let
satire?
them experience the fucking problems and like go
Or is that
through the stomach
satire?
and the vomiting and all that in the hospital visit, like make them go through that. It's kind of like, when you want to send your kid to jail to just fucking teach them a lesson
Yeah,
about
or
like
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 catch them
selling drugs
smoking,
or
so you make
something,
them
right?
smoke a whole carton, but the
That was
man
the
doesn't
worst.
like
Like
it.
yeah,
Like I've been smoking ever since.
right.
Yeah, I was misbehaving in high school. My daddy took me to jail, see how it was to live behind bars. Found out I liked it, and here I am, penitentiary. Reminds me of that rehab song, Bartender.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. I've
We've
heard of that.
evolved now. We have hit our 2 hour mark, and we are just
Yeah, we're
whatever.
just bullshitting now.
We're just bullshitting. Appreciate y'all hanging out and listening to us just bullshit.
How many people are even watching right now? Two,
That's like 7 people watching us, and
seven?
I love each and every one of you, and
Hey, hell
y'all
yeah, man!
y'all are awesome.
Y'all are y'all are
Y'all
super. Y'all are amazing.
y'all get us. Y'all get us. Y'all get us.
At least if you could hang around and
If you can hang around and just listen to us talk about like what were we just talking about? I don't even remember.
I don't even fucking know, dude.
Hey,
We just ran
okay. So I was gonna go somewhere with
the Harlem Shuffle.
yeah, the Harlem Shuffle, or yeah, well, the Super Bowl Shuffle that led me to thinking that was like
Yeah,
a
right,
clip,
right.
RoboCop. That is society now. Like RoboCop, not was it 1987, 86, one of those years. That is current situation, except for the well, I don't know. There's still there's roaming gangs and stuff. There's people like just
Like 21
like
Jump Street,
burning. No, it's worse. They're like ravaging the whole entire like neighborhoods and burning down the damn Wendy's and shit.
bro. Can we
And
talk about? I know we're over our time, but on the next show, I want to talk about the fucking the thing in New
everything's like
York. What was it? All the Jewish, like the
tunnels.
people that were the Jews.
You know, like tunnels. Hey, no, there's a reason for that
What
though.
the fuck was that,
Well,
dude?
because they were there's
That's
different
just wild,
explanations,
though.
right? I think there's several different reasons why they ended up doing
I
it.
know, but it was just so
And one of them
fucking
was because
wild. Like
they're
this dude's
very
coming out of the sewer. Like what the fuck?
yeah, they just captured him like coming up at it. They were like, "What the fuck?" Obviously not a Ninja Turtle, bro. Like what is
Just a
but
random Jewish guy popping up in his fucking full Jewish garb, just
well
popping up out of the sewer.
one thing I heard is
What
because
the hell was
they're
this?
devout. They're very devout religious people.
Yeah,
They
of
like to
course.
go to synagogue or whatever it is, like when they're supposed to, no matter what. And I don't know, had the government not infringed on people's rights to gather,
You know, it may be a
that,
quicker way to get
maybe
to.
we'll be making jokes about people digging tunnels to their
You know
church.
what though? It's not a
I
bad
don't know.
idea though, especially like think about like Muslims, especially too. Like when you have to be at a place at a specific time to do your prayers or whatever,
Yeah,
like
regardless
the
what
Jewish people
the
do, like
law of the
tunnels
land
could be the
says.
quickest way to and from, like
Well,
at
that's
any
what they
given
did in
point, right?
whorehouses. That's what, like in Butte, the Dumas
Well, and like
brothel.
prohibition, of course, man.
Well,
All that stuff.
In Butte, the Dumas brothel, it was connected. They had an underground tunnel network, and the
Mhm.
tunnels went all over, and so you could go. There was actually you could actually get come into the. There's freaking windows and shit down there, man. Like there was. It's crazy, dude. It's in the basement. It's nuts.
Dude, you know how many? So I was like seeing something about this, like the insane amount of thousands of miles of tunnels that have been dug by like El Chapo and the cartels and everything for transporting drugs across the border. Like the insane
Dude,
amount.
mattresses are everywhere, man. There are mattresses like dirty mattresses are a staple. I feel like in a cesspool, like especially in New York. Like there's probably dirty mattresses, like old, filthy, disgusting mattresses everywhere. Like,
Change the
but
subject real quick.
no, well, he's talking about they found a bunch of mattresses in the tunnel in the Jewish.
Oh,
Yeah, well, they were living down there. They weren't. I think a lot of them were actually
well,
like
I
illegal.
imagine it was probably those people that were like transporting drugs. I mean, they had to travel sometimes like 10, 15 miles through these tunnels, and it wasn't like
What
fast
in
going
New
either. They
York?
were going on. Oh no,
Where?
I'm talking about the cartel ones. Like I would
Oh no, we were.
imagine.
I
Wait,
think
Tim,
I
are you
think
talking
Tim was
about?
talking about the mattresses in the tunnels that they pulled out of the underneath the Jewish temple because they were
Oh, is
living
that the
down
one you're
there.
talking about?
They were living down there. They were
Oh,
actually
I didn't know all that.
it was a very specific like denomination, I guess is the way you'd say it, the offshoot uh of
Like a hard
like a
Judaism.
regular. It wasn't like being a Hasidic Jew or whatever. It was similar to that, but it was this one guy. I can't remember the guy's name, but Shlomo. His name is Shlomo. Damn, I can't believe I remember that. But he started this kind of like a fundamentalist type movement, and that those dudes were I think from what I know about it, they were all part of that sect, that fundamentalist Jewish sect. That
Okay.
Shlomo guy.
Okay.
Don't take my word for all that. I mean, I am the reckless speculator, but I think that's the basic reason why there were Jew tunnels in New York.
I just thought it was fucking hilarious that like it's
I
so random.
I
Just
just
so
can't believe
random. This motherfucker just full Jewish, clean Jewish garb and hat, everything.
I
Just
just want
popped
to
up out of the
know
sewer in the middle of the street. Like, what the
I
fuck
just
just
want to know what
happened?
Kanye West thinks about it.
What Kanye West thinks
I
about
want
it?
to hear Kanye West's take on the
Or
Jew
fucking Mel Gibson's take on it.
or Mel Gibson. We haven't heard from any of these people, and I think their opinion is definitely amusing.
I think Kanye West's opinion would be fucking hilarious.
Dude, I don't know if that guy. I think Kanye's
Fucking
trolling most of
ridiculous.
the time, man. He's like always.
Kanye's just so. I love Kanye,
He
man.
trolls so much that he doesn't even know if he's trolling you anymore. He's actually doing just crazy, saying and
He's
doing
just
crazy,
like
like
on
wearing
autopilot,
wearing
troll mode.
like weird sex masks and shit made by Louis Vuitton. Like he don't even know why he's doing. He's like, this is bound to piss somebody off if I do this.
Kanye does what Kanye
Wants to do like
does.
whatever pops into his head, dude. And
Whatever
it's
pops into
amazing.
Kanye's head. And the
It's
thing is, Kanye's a billionaire. He could fucking do
when
it
you're
no
as
matter what
good
he
at
wants to do.
doing what he really is good at doing, and it's not rapping. His real talent is producing, beat
Mhm.
production. That he created all the most famous rappers, the OGs out there, I guess you could say,
Oh
Eminem,
yeah, he
Drake,
produced
Lil
a
Wayne,
lot.
Jay-Z. Like he made their sound, and that sound is still with them to this day, right? Like they all have a specific, like
East
you hear
Coast,
Jay-Z, you know it's
East Coast rap,
you,
basically.
mostly, but not all of it. Yeah, he was doing
Not
shit for everybody, dude.
right, right.
Like for a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at the best, like I saw a post earlier today, and I was like, damn, that's not wrong either. like somebody said, like showed all of Kanye's albums, like his entire discography, and like and it said like, tell me a better discography than this guy.
Then
I was
what?
like, damn, than
Kanye?
Kanye's. I was like thinking about it, like, damn,
Yeah,
dude.
no, he's got like
I mean, it's hard to argue with it,
most of his songs. No,
dude.
he's
All
definitely a
of his albums,
definitely a
dude.
good rapper.
All of
But I'm saying his real talent is not the words in his songs because he's got a couple songs that is just like
Oh
you
yeah, he doesn't
know
even have to fucking. He doesn't even
he
need to
just
rap.
says the
Really,
same word, same thing over and over again. It's not about the words. It's about the beat, the music, and
well,
it's
he
about
did
that
all
hook.
of his
It's about that hook.
lyrical work like in his up through like graduation and all that stuff. Like all the albums up through graduation, I think was his real lyric. And then 808s and Heartbreak 2, I think was really more a passion project about his mom dying, right? But
Yeah, but
then
that was also him exploring the electronic
auto
side
tune and shit,
also,
yeah,
not just
and
auto
his
tuning.
singing
Like
and
he
yeah,
made he was his shit was starting to sound like a fucking 8-bit video game, like a damn like
right.
like if you put your ear right up next to the damn Pac-Man machine, Pac-Man
But I
arcade
think
game.
anything after 808s and Heartbreak was more or less like Kanye just creating and producing awesome beats and just saying whatever the fuck Kanye wants to say.
Yeah, he
Because he
knew
doesn't
he knows how
he
to
doesn't
rap.
care anymore.
He knows how to do popular rap, and that's what he did at first, and that's how he got like because Jay Z
I don't
didn't
know,
think he
man.
was
Like the
gonna make
Through
it.
the Wire days and all that shit. Like
Jay Z didn't think he was gonna make it.
no,
Like Jay Z gave him a chance against his better like judgment. Like he thought that he wasn't gonna make it. He thought he'd like Kanye make an album, it'd flop, and that'd be the end of Kanye. But Kanye, I would argue, is like more influential, way more influential in my opinion than Jay Z.
yeah. Honestly, I don't really get all the buzz about Jay Z.
Jay Z's
I
just a he owns a music label, he owns a
Dr.
whole bunch
Dre
of
owns a
rappers.
music label too. So what's I guess that's my question is what's the
Yeah,
difference
but Dr.
between
Dre
Jay Z
got
and
knocked
Dr. Dre?
off. He got knocked out of because see, Dre got knocked out like, and I'm not like a big rap critic, so I don't know everything, but I know that Dre, there was a big like West Coast infighting shit that went on right with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, and
Oh, and Easy, yeah.
That's really when Dr. Dre, lost like
The NWA side of him.
yeah, because he's got a
He just
music
went
label, but
to
does he?
producing beats.
He's got
Yeah.
Eminem. That's it. Like Eminem is his guy.
Mhm.
He's got other rappers, but it's like fucking who knows? Like Eminem's his guy. Jay Z, on the other hand, there's a lot of
He's a
rappers. There's a lot of rappers
Jay
that
Z is
work too.
closer now to P Diddy back in the '90s. I think.
Oh, dude, that's insulting to Jay Z. I feel like because P Diddy wasn't really talented at rapping.
I'm not talking about the talent. I'm
You
talking
talking about
about
the
being a
influence or
mogul,
like
like
in charge,
Empires type,
like in
like
charge of
Rock
some shit?
Nation. So like what
Yeah.
like
Maybe
Death Row
maybe that.
Records and
Yeah. Death Row.
well, Death Row wasn't P Diddy. That was Suge Knight.
Death Row
What was
was Death Row was
Suge Knight?
Ice
Suge
was
Knight.
well,
Suge,
yeah.
Suge Knight for
But
in the '90s, yes,
Tupac was Death
until Tupac
Row
and Snoop Dogg
and
was Death Row, Dre was
yeah,
Death
Dre,
Row,
Ice Cube,
Ice Cube, a lot of those guys. But I'm talking about what was Diddy's
Bad Boys.
Bad Boy Entertainment,
Bad
yeah.
Boys, yeah, Bad Boys. And see now like Jay-Z's got
That was West Coast. No, no, no,
yeah,
that was East
no,
Coast,
no,
wasn't it?
that's New York,
Yeah,
bro.
that's East Coast. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
East
New
Coast
York,
side.
yeah.
West Coast was Dre, Snoop,
Mhm.
Tupac,
But I'm talking about the West
Suge
Coast
Knight, and all
side
them.
of
Yeah,
the fighting. We started talking about rap and like with three people still tolerating us.
and,
but anyway. So
yeah,
I that's why Eminem. I don't like Eminem as a person. I think he's the best. He's definitely one of the best rappers has ever been.
lyricists, I would say.
Rapper, just period. Like
Anyway, with
yeah,
going with flow and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
flow is one thing, but then a lyricist is being able to string words together that make sense. Not only make sense, but
but
uh,
tell a
they're
story,
in a clever
have a
way.
point.
Yeah, like Lil Wayne is
Oh,
arguably
he's a
better than Eminem. Not because like he's got like a bigger vocabulary or some shit. He says things. He's got like he makes like he says a
Lil Wayne
sentence
is a
that
punchline. Like,
means five different things. He'll say one sentence that means five things, and you're like,
yeah.
damn, he just said that. Oh, but that could also mean that. Oh shit, that could be that too. Oh fuck, that's clever, you know. And it's like he
Well,
says shit
Eminem's a
like
lot like that too, though.
Eminem's like that, but he's
But their
like
flow is
on the
different.
nose
That's
type.
different. That's the thing.
Flat.
It's
When I
the
think
it's
of Eminem, I think of a sketch comedy because that's kind of what he was when he first started. It was like
yeah. He was
he
like
was
a
like
just
a
a crazy
living.
white boy,
He
right?
was like on Saturday Night Live all the time, like popping in, doing some silly shit. You
Oh,
know,
dude, Eminem was like a character. Slim
yeah,
Shady was a
right. That's what I'm
character.
saying. He was like a character, you know, and
But like that's who Eminem was, though. Like he was
but
just
that
this
doesn't
fucking
make
crazy
you. That
white
doesn't.
boy. Like
Yeah,
he was
now
ready to fucking
he has
pop on. Like,
become, but he writes shit down. Like Lil Wayne don't even
yeah,
fucking write shit down.
no, he
He just
just thinks of it
he just
at the
says it
moment.
when he's doing it, and that's crazy.
Yeah, they'll do
That's
like
crazy to me.
he'll do like three or four bars. So like he'll say one thing, another thing, another thing, another thing off the top of his head. That they'll stop the track. He'll go and he'll like
Which
you
is
know like
which is superior to like rap battles because rap battles is one liners back and forth.
eh,
Usually it's
rap
like
battles are a
one
lot more than
liner.
one liners.
It's like two lines that rhyme mostly. You know, it's like da da
But
da
it's
da.
not two liners back and forth. No, like real rap battles, dude, are like
I'm talking
fucking.
about
You
oh
got
yeah.
1 minute of a beat. You got 1 minute
Okay,
freestyle
what do you
to
call it?
attack your
What do they
opponent,
call
right?
it? Yeah, what do they call it? Like
Like 8 Mile is a perfect example of what a real rap battle
okay,
is.
maybe 8 Mile. I don't know. I've never been to a rap battle. I don't freaking even know what a real rap battle looks like.
You never seen the whole video of
Honestly,
the Rap Olympics or any of that shit?
I've seen that shit, but is that like what is that like a
The Rap
real rap
Olympics was a
battle?
real rap battle. Yeah, the
I
Rap Olympics. That's what it is. It's
just
a
see
rap
them like
battle
making fun.
contest.
They like come out and they talk shit to each other. They're like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
his mom's got snakeskin teeth." Oh, everybody's like, "Oh,"
yeah.
you know. It's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom's got snakeskin teeth. Let's go, moms. I got off yours last night."
No,
Oh, that's
that's
like,
like
but it's
wilding
like,
out type shit. That's like
yeah, but
wilding
that's
out type shit.
yeah, but they do it in a
That's
they
just a
rhyme.
back and forth
Yeah, but there's
punchline joke.
that's
Like
kind
that's
of the
not
way I
rap
look at
battle,
rap
man.
battle. The rap battle,
That's
they're just
not a fucking rap
talking shit
battle.
to each other, and but they're
That's
rhyming.
talking shit to each other, but like
They're
you're
just
trying to,
rhyming.
you get a beat and you have to freestyle over that beat. Sometimes it's not even a beat, like you got to go a cappella, but like you have to freestyle and say shit
I don't
attacking your
know.
opponent, but like you have to be good with the punch. You have to be hard with the punch. And
I
that's
need
what
to
Lil
work on
Wayne
my
was
rap
so good
career
at.
harder. I need to
That's
work.
what Lil Wayne is very, very, very good at. It's his delivery on the punch, and he just every line, every bar is a punch.
Well,
It's
also
like a heavyweight, like Mike Tyson flow.
his
Like yeah,
another
that song Mike Tyson flow. It's literally, it's like just
well, it's like that Ric Flair drip.
yeah, like
Ric
it's
Flair
just
drip.
not like everything
Ric
he
Flair drip
says,
go woo on a bitch.
bro. So like, you ever listen to like the Demolition freestyle 1 and 2 with Mac Main, dude? Or like
I don't like freestyle rap because it's not. I mean,
it's not.
I don't get
They
into rap
call it
like
the.
that. I'm
It
like,
doesn't. I'm not talking about a podcast. I'm talking about. It's just called a freestyle in the
yeah, but it's usually
fucking.
like
It's the
very
mixtape
random.
song.
Yeah,
Is
no,
what I'm calling.
I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of live music either. I
It's
like.
not live. What are you talking about, dude? You never listened to Lil Wayne? Grew up like he became famous on mixtapes.
Oh, you're talking about Lil Wayne. Oh, I like Lil
Yeah,
Wayne. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know
The
if you're talking about
Demolition freestyle. The song one
other
Demolition
people. No,
freestyle part one
I
and
like
two.
Lil Wayne, but I mean, you know,
Have
I'm
you ever
no.
listened to the Demolition freestyle part one
No,
and two
no,
by Lil Wayne and Mac
I have
Main?
no idea. I don't know. I've listened to like a lot of Lil Wayne, but I don't know what
What
was out
about Lil
because he comes
Wayne
out with a
and
new album like every freaking week.
back
He
in the
used
day?
to. He did. back in the day. But it wouldn't be like a whole new album of new songs. It would be like the other songs, but remixes of those songs, or like part twos to the song, or some shit
You were
like that.
going to the wrong websites, bro. I was going see
I was
like
in
I was
Iraq.
going to
I was in
huh?
Iraq when I was in
Oh, of
Iraq.
course. Then you were getting like
I was
you were
buying,
getting shit
I was
6 months
buying
after
bootleg.
it came out.
I was
Like what are you
buying bootleg albums from people like in the bazaars, like
Yep. You were
I was,
getting shit 6 months after it came out. So
oh
like
yeah, and I lived in Germany, so like like Germany is behind like pop culture wise. They like '80s music was like '80s music is big here because of it's like
because
nostalgia, right? It's like,
vintage is cool now. It's retro.
but there they actually like that. It's like, oh yeah,
It's,
this shit
it
hot,
just came out to them.
this
They're
shit
just like, oh
hot,
shit,
bro. Yeah,
this is
bro.
popular, dude. And that's no bullshit. Like you go over to those other
Like they don't
countries,
even
like
listen
shit
to
that was
Rammstein. They don't listen to. They don't like Rammstein. The only freaking people who listen to Rammstein are Americans, and all they do is bag on America, which I find to be ironic. That
it is kind of funny. There's a lot of things that America does. Like fucking
yeah,
like we're
like
the only ones that like actual like
Nazi
football. Like we don't like
football game.
American public hate the American public can like majority wise, dude does not like soccer. Nobody fucking likes soccer in America. There's a population that does like soccer, but on the
Soccer,
scale that it
soccer's
is,
being forced on us
yes,
by,
it's being
by our
forced on
schools,
America,
it's being forced on our children in our
dude.
schools.
That is no bullshit
It's the
though.
soccer agenda.
Because everybody else in the entire world, like soccer is the biggest fucking sport, except Canada where hockey is the biggest sport. But everywhere else in
I
the
don't
world,
know. They like
Mexico,
curling up
Spain,
there too, man.
everywhere.
And that's some wild shit. Is fucking
What?
curling. Have you ever watched curling?
Oh, yeah, curling, dude. That's fucking
That is
crazy.
some ridiculous ass shit. Like
It
how
is intense
how
focus,
high do
bro.
you have to be to think of that, like making that shit into a game? You got to get so high. Like you got to be this high to play this game.
It's just
Like you got
hilarious
to be
because
just blazed out
I
of your
saw a
fucking
thing.
mind to think, hey man, just get that broom. See that big rock over there? Slide that shit on the ice, bro. I bet you I can stop with this broom, bro, and make it stop
Yep.
right here, man. That's
So
some
it's
shit you do
funny,
when you don't have nothing else. You so broke, all you got is a broom and a big smooth rock.
bro. So what's funny is that like I saw a thing about the U.S. Olympic curling team that won the gold several years ago or whatever. And it just like somebody said, this is a group of middle-aged dads who just decided to join the Olympics one day,
You
like
have
beer
you
fest.
have you have like
Those guys were
desensitize yourself to the world to the point where you got to do something as just as mind-numbingly like why like I don't even know how you would get into curling. Like,
dude.
like, oh,
I don't even know
I
where
started playing
anybody
this
even
kinda I
practiced.
started playing first person shooter video games, I was hanging out at my buddy's house and he's like, "Hey, you wanna play some Call of Duty?" Yes. I was like, "Yeah, cool."
There's
Like,
a reason to do it.
I've never heard a curling origin story. Yeah, man, well,
Do you even know anybody that curls?
no, but I've seen that shit. I know, unless it's like AI,
Dude, I don't
unless
think
it's made
curling is real.
the curling is probably not real. I agree with you.
I think it's an illusion that was
I
put
no,
into our
it
brains
is,
by
yeah.
the
It's a
by
conspiracy.
somebody.
Yeah, they want us to think curling is a thing. So then they don't. So then if we accept that level of ridiculousness as a sport, then like we're more likely to accept all the other bullshit they try to force down our throat. If you are at the point where you think sweeping a giant rock that somebody slid across the ice is a sport, then we got a lot of plans for you. We're gonna get some stuff done.
Bro. It's true.
Curling is a waste of waste. It's a waste of something. I don't know.
There is.
There's better ways to expend your energy than that, especially when it's that fucking cold, where you're it's so cold that you're trying to find a game to make use of the cold.
That is a
Like, oh
good.
fuck, what can we
I'm
do? Oh,
curious, man.
we can't play soccer. Everybody just slips and busts their ass the whole time.
But see, it's funny that soccer is primarily like it's really. You notice it's really big in countries that are warm a lot, like Mexico and Italy and a lot of Europe. Really, uh,
You know what's big in Europe
and
now?
what's that?
Hobby horse. Have you seen this shit?
Is that the fucking
Have you
people that are
seen?
riding around on the sticks
Yes,
with the
on the
horses?
fucking
I
stick
know,
horses.
dude. Yes.
They have, dude. There's this guy who like goes and learns a sport in
They
one day.
actually
A
go and do
YouTube
like they
guy.
jump over the little fucking things,
Yes,
man. Oh
yes,
my god,
dude.
that's awesome.
There's this dude who has a YouTube channel and he's like Romanian or something, Eastern European, some sort. And he like goes and he learns a sport in one day and then does it. It's like I learned how to scuba dive in one day, and that's the video, right? And then so he did one on hobby horsing, right? And so like he's totally playing it up. He's got the. Do you know who Doctor Disrespect is?
Uh-uh.
He's a gamer. He's a big time gamer, dude, and he's like got this persona, like this macho man. Like he's got a mullet, like a mullet wig that he wears, and these big, like shiny Oakley glasses
He's
and
being
shit. You know.
satiric, basically.
Yes, he's making a mock. He's he's
Yeah,
mocking the it's a character.
he's satirical
So he
comedy.
goes in just like that, so glasses and everything, got the mullet going, and he is like he's got his buddy with him. He's his coach, and like he's like giving him a pep talk before the event, and he wins. He freaking won the championship trophy. He's, he was like all these little ass kids and shit. And he goes in there just like, just like, oh god, it's epic. I'll send you the
Shoving
link.
it in their face.
It was
Yeah.
so funny, dude. I was like, oh my god, bro, this guy
It's
is just,
fucking hilarious.
and it's like they don't know if they like if I was like into some weird shit like that, and there was somebody making fun of me to my face, I get pissed about it. I feel like I'd be like, man, shut up, get out of here, bro. But they're all like, yay, good for you, you won. And he says,
Fuck you, kids, man.
dude, it was ridiculous. I was like, all them kids. I think it was
Um,
important for those kids that they learned an important life lesson that day. That what the shit they're doing is dumb, and that anybody can come in and just be a total jackass and beat them at whatever shit they thought they were doing.
Basically, that's how life is gonna treat you. It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
kick you while you're fucking
kick you in the
down, so
balls
you
when
better
you're
fucking
bent
get used
over
to
picking some shit up for somebody else. Is gonna kick you right in the crotch.
it. Yep. Nice. Give you a nice red foreman up the ass, put his
Dumbass.
boot in your ass. Dumbass. Put his boot in your ass. No, like that's
Red
funny
Foreman
though.
made it okay to call your kid a dumbass again. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Let's bring it back.
Thank you, Red
Let's
Foreman.
fucking
Speaking of
let's
Red Foreman,
fucking
hey, RoboCop, baby. He was one of the best villains. He was like the villain on RoboCop, the original RoboCop movie. Did you know that?
what, Kurt Fairwood?
Yeah.
Huh. I
You
didn't
know
I,
that?
didn't- I didn't watch RoboCop, so I don't know.
Oh, bro, you haven't seen RoboCop.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, you're doing it wrong.
I must be.
Just everything. You're doing it all wrong. You have to watch
Life is
Dude,
living wrong.
RoboCop is like one of the best freaking '80s movies that exists. And I'm a huge '80s movie fan. And I'll say RoboCop's a big. All right, I'm gonna end the stream because we just. Bye, y'all. Good night. See y'all next week.